This whole time, this whole time, the whole time. God damn it, I'm so sorry. Megasonic, 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 oops, Megasonic, Megasonic. Don't worry, it wasn't anything that would be a problem because it was hidden, right? Let me go back in the YouTube VOD. Hello, hello? Am I talking? Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Hello, hello, hello? Oh no! Hello, 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 hello? Megasonic, 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 blah, 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 Megasonic. What are you doing? What are you doing to me? Hello, hello, what are you doing to me, Megasonic? Why are you telling me that my stream is not working? Why are you helping me? Why are you... what do you want out of this? What what do you expect from me? Oh my goodness. Okay, so for the 55,000th time, I am getting my stream set up right now. I have not streamed for a bit, so I need to get my camera set up. There's something going down with XQC, so we're gonna go over a Devin Nash video over here. I haven't watched it yet, so we're gonna watch it live. We're gonna live react. Okay, so I'm just getting this all set up, making sure kick.com is live, which I need to check. Because for some reason, I guess since XQC came over, they must have done an update. Because something is not working with Restream. Something, I don't know what. But something is missing, okay? I have no idea what it is. But it's missing. I have no idea where it is. Maybe it's in the Pokemon Red and Blue called Missing Number. Unable to connect? Okily dokily, sending data, sending data, sending data. Sending data, sending data, sending data. Is it wrong to help someone? No, I was just joking. That was sarcasm. I'm being silly today. I'm feeling really good about myself lately. I'm learning how to love myself, and I feel really silly. And I got my oboe game today. I suck at it, but we'll play it in a bit. Just a second. I got to get my stream set up so we can relax. Okay, so hang tight. Let me get some music on for you, you know, so you can relax, smoke up a blunt or something. I don't know. Whatever you guys do nowadays. I'm gonna go on the Discord and ask to see if like, I need to connect to a moderator on kick.com because I think they might have to do something on their end. I don't know. Do that? What? Oh shit! I gotta be careful though. I gotta be careful because like I think I need to log out. I think I just need to log out and log back in. That might be it. Yeah, let me just re-log in. That might fix everything. Sometimes that's how it goes. $62K viewers. This is annoying. Unable to connect, it says. I'm gonna add it again. Don't worry. And we can always talk. I mean, like, I'm here with the microphone. I can set up my webcam if you really want me to while I'm doing this. But I'm kind of just... I want to get set up and then, like, kind of, like, you know... just get all prepared. I like being prepared. I like being prepared and stuff, so... And this is a big deal, okay? So I want to cover this properly. And, you know, this is like XQC. What the fuck? 100 million fucking deal. What the fuck? So yeah, just enjoy the music while I get this set up, okay? And also, free to chat whenever. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about XQC? You want to talk about burgers? You want to talk about Cheeto? Best Yu-Gi-Oh deck? What are you talking about? I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a kid. That's an interesting story, Rebecca. Yu-Gi-Oh. You are a person who played Yu-Gi-Oh. You're very interesting. Twitch chat likes you because of that. Sending data, unable to connect. What the fuck? What the frick? What the frick? What the frick? Unable to connect, it says. You don't hear the other person? What other person? There is no other person yet. We're still getting the stream set up. We're trying to fix this freaking problem. It was working last time I streamed. It looks like because XQC joined, they must have done an update or something. Either that or they can't handle the traffic. Just keep saying unable to connect. Let me check the Discord. Okay, I'll email them. Yeah, so I asked on the Discord, like, does anybody else having this issue? Okay, I think it might be because XQC is live. So let's, for now, while we're waiting, because Kick.com, I guess I just can't go live on Kick.com right now. We'll wait until, I guess it'll just keep trying to connect until it connects. I think that's what it's gonna do. So right now, obviously I'm on YouTube and Twitch and stuff. So let me set up the webcam and we'll get started on what we're doing. You know, with some Devin Nash. Just let me get the music started. But here's the thing is I was already streaming on Kick. I multi-stream. So I was trying to get Restream to work. Apparently, a lot of people are having the same problem. They can't connect on Restream to Kick.com right now. Might be because right now, XQC is like, XQC is live right now on Kick.com with, and I can't even follow him. So I think the traffic is really fucked up right now. it's everything's kind of messed up. They'll fix it. Don't worry. But yeah, let me get my webcam and all that. I mean, well, my Canon EOS.
The whole Rittenhouse saga.
The biggest deal.
Just a second. What is up, everybody? What's up, YouTube? What's up, Twitch? What's up, Kick.com? What's up, YouTube? What's up, Twitter? What's up, everybody? What's up, Instagram? What's up, Facebook? What's up, Twitch.tv? Let's go. Let's up, Kick.com. What's up, Africa TV? What's up, BB2 Live? What's up, FC2 Live? What is up, everybody? Okay. What is going on? What is going on? Nobody knows. Actually, somebody knows. You know who knows? Not me. I have no idea what's going on. My brain is full of cabbage. Well, how about we watch Devin Nash? That guy usually knows stuff. He might know something. What is up? 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 How are you? 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 No more music. We got too much important stuff to talk about. We can't be listening to music. What do you think this is? Some kind of lounge radio station? Okay, we got work to do. We got clips to watch. We got YouTube vids to watch about the news, about XQC making a non-exclusive deal with Kick.com. What the hell? And I did not... When I woke up this morning, I chose violence. But besides that, I did not expect XQC to be showing up on my newsfeed about another Kick.com streamer. Although I kind of expected it. But not today. By the way, is my sound synced up with my video? Because when I look at my video, it wasn't doing this before. It looks like there's like a bit of a delay. Like, I don't know. Or I'm just insane. Okay? You guys have to understand the meaning of the word insane starts with you. Okay. Okay, what the frick? What the frick? What the frick? Okay, so I have a couple things I want to talk about today. I started dance. I got an oboe. We could play it a little bit. No. It's kind of like my clarinet, but it's not. I still have a lot to learn. And therefore, it is now bullied. Yeah, it's just a bit different because it's like it's got keys, but it's also got like kind of like how the saxophone has the bis key. It kind of like I never knew this about the oboe. I never had one or thought of playing one, so I never thought of like studying how the keys work. It's like clarinet. If clarinet like went to get a PhD, is how the key work is. Like the key work is like a clarinet with a PhD. I don't know. I'm starting to feel like some new energy for life. You know, like right now, starting to like really feel like all the stuff that really makes me who I am, and I'm starting to get back into the swing of things to how things were. You know, obviously with all the stuff I've been doing for my mental health and my medical stuff, going back in, just like dropping myself into the public world again after like 4 years basically of being isolated. I pretty much, especially during the pandemic, I pretty much didn't leave the house, except for going on errands and like medical stuff. A couple times spending time with really, really important people. But unfortunately, I didn't realize how much that affected me. Actually affected me quite a lot. Like quite a lot. But I'm getting there, and I think dance is like a really good way to like get back. Let me fix my hair really quick. I gotta be careful with the reed. This is a Legier oboe reed. They're pretty expensive, but they last for like a year at least, if not longer. Because all the Legiers I have, they still work pretty good after a year. Like pretty good. Like pretty damn good. Let's fix my hair and a little. I don't need. Do I need to fix my hair? Do I need to fix my hair? I don't need to fix my hair. Let's stop making excuses. Let's watch the thing. We gotta start getting our shit together. Can't just waste time all day. We gotta watch the YouTube vid. We gotta watch it. We gotta watch it, okay?
In entertainment history has just been signed by a Twitch streamer. Felix Lengyel, also known as XQC, is moving off of popular live streaming platform Twitch and onto rival platform Kick. Now, this is a estimated $100 million deal, representing the largest deal ever signed in live streaming history. This is the only video where you will get the actual details of this deal and how this changes the live streaming space and the entertainment world forever. You do not want to miss a second of this. People will miss a lot of details in their coverage of this event that would only be caught by an insider. So we are going to break everything down, starting with what this deal actually is, because on the outside, it looks like a streaming deal that just pays XQC to go to another platform.
So what I'm pretty sure what's going on here before I watch this, this is my cabbage brain take here. Pretty sure what's going on is it's not $100 million deal for Kick. It's $100 million deal to make sure that if he's streaming, he's also streaming to Kick. And I think it's similar to what Trainwreck said about like how his deals are with stake.com and stuff like that. Is he didn't get like those code deals that like a lot of those people get. So like Trainwreck, everybody, there's a lot of people still streaming gambling, by the way. And the thing is like people use like affiliate codes for like these really, obviously they're all sketchy. And let's be real, every website is sketchy. I still don't trust YouTube. What was I saying? So like they instead they gave him a deal. They gave Trainwreck a deal so that every time he was going to gamble, they would pay him to play on their website. He was gambling already, so it's kind of like that. So he said like, hey, if you're going to gamble, you may as well get paid for it if you use that website instead of other websites. So I feel like it's something like that. Like he said, hey, if you're going to multi-stream off of if you're going to multi-stream, make sure kick.com is listed there. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. We'll see Devin's analysis. Let's go.
But that's not what it actually is. What this actually is the most interesting and the biggest influencer marketing play of all time. So Kick, as a platform, has, by doing one deal, has put themselves on the map in influencer marketing. Consider that $100 million. We're going to talk about this in a second. Maybe that deal isn't actually $100 million. It doesn't actually seem like what it might be. We're going to break that down in a second, so stay tuned for that. But look at this, okay? New York Times, Forbes, Deserto, and this is just PC Gamer. This is just the...
Yeah, so right now, definitely this is trending on Twitter. So make sure to make your tweets now.
The first couple of hours of this, as of the time of this recording, this is going to be everywhere. Every single...
And so just to be clear, there's a multi-level approach I have towards trying to get things going, and I wait for moments. Of course, obviously that's a cop-out. You should always be working every day towards growing something, especially yourself. Don't just grow your brand, grow yourself.
Big outlet is going to cover this, and that is exactly what Kick is planning on to put them on the map. So if you understand one thing about what this deal is, this is Kick's Hail Mary to get on the map and be a legitimate competitor to Twitch. Now, the New York Times is reporting that this deal is an estimated $70 million. And if you look at the article, they say signing a 2-year contract, roughly $70 million contract with incentives that could push it to the total to about $100 million, said his agent Ryan Morrison from Evolved Talent. So what does that mean? Let's break down the actual deal structure and tell you what this deal actually looks like. From me, myself, I am also an agent. I formerly ran a talent agency. I now run a brand agency. And I'm going to guess what the deal structure is, but I'm going to almost guarantee that I know exactly how these agencies do this work. I've done dozens of deals across the space, probably hundreds of deals that are structured this way. So we're going to break down what this deal most likely is going to make perfect sense. So first of all, let's get the stuff that we know, and then I'll do the math, okay? So we know that it's roughly $70 million over 2 years, and then there's $30 million, so we'll plus $30 million in incentives, and we're going to discuss what those are in a little bit. So up to 100, okay? And I think those 100 are probably going to be, so extra 30 mil for events, because XQC mentioned that.
Right, and it's just like, that's kind of what YouTube was kind of focused on when they got like, who was it? They got like Tim the Tatman. Were they trying to get like, who else were they trying to get? They were trying to get like a few different people who did like a bunch of different like big events, especially charities. And so when you do that, you get a lot of viewership, and that's like putting a lot of traffic on the website.
And possibly, since there is an association with Stake being the owners of Kick, gambling incentives or hours gambling.
Oh, here we go. X is going to start doing the gambling again. Or is he?
Now, the big thing to understand about this deal is that
Wouldn't it be a huge plot twist if this whole time XQC never does a gambling stream on Kick just to piss everyone off? That would be so hilarious.
Deal is most likely an hourly deal. That is to say that there is probably not what we would call an MG or minimum guarantee associated with the deal. There is probably a signing bonus, and I would put that at like 10 million, maybe 15 at most. So like, here's a check, and then we're going to pay you hourly to be here. Okay, so there's an upfront, but probably not a minimum guarantee. It's probably going to be hourly. We know that because there's been a...
I mean, at XQC's level, what would a minimum guarantee even matter? Like, we got like 60,000 viewers right now. I don't think he's going to have to worry about meeting the minimum, if there is one.
Basically every deal that Kick has signed so far has been an hourly deal. We've seen dozens and dozens of these deals show up on Twitter, and indeed they're offering a flat hourly rate to almost anybody that verifies for their partner program that's above like 30 to 50 concurrent viewers.
Like I think for someone who's not as big as XQC, what I'm thinking is, I'm not sure what he's talking about with the minimum guarantee. What I'm pretty sure he's talking about with minimum guarantee is that he has to work that many hours, you know, or it's you get paid for at least that many hours. So even if you stream for 20 minutes, you still get paid the minimum. That's usually that's usually how it works, right? Like you do a gig, like they say like, hey, we're going to pay you like $100 an hour to like do this. And they're like, okay, but this is going to take 3 hours. So you're going to have to pay a minimum of 3 hours. Somebody can't just pay you hourly just to do 1 hour of work. If it's going to take 3 hours, it might even take more. But if you estimate it as 3 hours, then you can tell them, hey, like minimum of 3 hours payment, even if you decide to cancel, even if something comes up, even if, you know, like, I don't know, like there's stuff like that. Like it takes at least 3 hours, you know, if you did it the whole time. If there was some kind of like delay, then that would make it take longer. I don't know.
So if this is an hourly deal, and I can almost guarantee it is, we can basically just figure out exactly how this deal got structured. So I'm going to put the rate per hour at $10,000. You're going to see why in a minute. like agencies, they love to choose these like big round numbers, and so they're just going to end up on something like this. Now, Felix streamed 3,029 hours last year on Twitch. Okay. So
Yikes! Yikes! Touch grass.
then you just take the hourly rate, 10,000 times 3,029, and you get a pretty easy number. 30 million,
Like, what does that money even mean at that point? Like,
290,000. You times that by 2, right?
I mean,
Well,
it still means a lot. You can do a lot for entire governments at a certain point.
we're not done yet because but it's gonna be, this is 1 year, okay, and it's a 2-year deal. We know that. So then you look at the subs that he gets, okay, and we're gonna assume that he's making 100%.
He's $30 million at this estimate. Wow, I don't think it's gonna be that high.
Of his sub revenue and the kick contract. That's fairly common for these larger creators, and it's already 95.5 anyway, so it's like not too much sweat.
Here's the thing: is like someone like XQC is really gonna be able to like. It's gonna scale a lot better for someone like him because he's just making. He's already making those subs. They basically are just like free money. Because people are insane and they keep giving him money for whatever reason. Maybe they want emotes, maybe they want a TTS, don't know. Maybe they just want to donate for no reason other than they don't want to see ads at the top of the hour. But with 95.5, it's GG.
Or kick just to say here you get 100% of your sub revenue. With XQC's current numbers on Twitch, that puts him monthly at 327,044.
And remember, these are estimates. He's just, kind of calculating like basic like multiplication. I would guess that this deal was probably custom made. That it's not an. I mean, he said it's an hour. He said it's probably an hourly rate. I don't think that's what it would be. I think it would be something like. I just have no idea. I mean, it's just, I mean, like, there's so many ways that this could have been handled. Like, it's just, I just imagine, like, literally just, like, I don't know, 2 lawyers meeting together randomly and just deciding this and then calling X and then he says, like, yeah, sure.
929,805 per year. Okay, so then you just add up the which basically puts you to 34,219,805.
And maybe it just sounds ridiculous because that's a lot of money. That's like a business. That's like a small business. That's 34 mil is like a small business for a single person. Like, that's insane.
And so if you just add that times 2, right, and you figure, okay, it's going to be about 34,219,000
70 million
per year. Multiply that by 2, you get 68,439,610. Boom, that's the deal. That's how they got to 70 million. So 70 million,
okay,
and then the 30 million.
Okay. I see. So they kind of, okay, so they're not technically doing this. They just calculated it somehow, maybe not the way he did. And then just said, you know what, this is probably how much we're going to have to pay him. Let's just pay him that. That way they don't have to pay him more, right? Because if they gave him this hourly deal, like in actuation, whatever that means. Like, if they did that hourly deal as, like, literally, like, you just make... we don't pay you anything, you just start streaming. And we'll literally start you as if you're, like, an affiliate with 0 viewers. XQC. And, like, and then it just keeps adding up. And they're paying him, like, $1 billion a year. Because he just keeps streaming for, like, 20-hour days. And he keeps taking all their money. But here's the thing. Is the nature of gambling... they will never run out of money to pay him because they just leak profits. They're the opposite of Twitch. I mean, not leak. They synthesize profits. They're like a plant. It's like taking in all the gambling addiction people who are just going to gamble anyway. And then they give them a little home and say, hey, you can gamble here. We're going to take care of you. We got bananas. We got oranges. We got Capri Suns. We got peanuts. You can, microwave some cold pizza. And there's a Super Nintendo in the corner with a TV.
Related incentives is the part we don't really know. And that is, I would just be guessing. I think that some of that is going to be just kind of like events, like XQC mentioned he wants to do like viewer Shark Tank stuff, or like he can pitch that kind of stuff, so there's some payment there. But if I were to guess, I would say that some of those incentives are going to kind of like be attached to like gambling goals or things like that. That again, we'll see like what happens there. XQC might just like gamble on his own. It's really a question of where that 30 mil actually sits that we just aren't going to know and anybody can speculate on. But what this means is that this is, I just want you to understand what a brilliant marketing play this is from Kick, because Kick is getting all of this earned media. So what is earned media? In the marketing world, earned media means impressions you don't necessarily pay for. So people like
right, so it's kind of like you just siphon off like the kind of like, I mean, they're unintended, but they're like calculated, I guess, because it's like you can't really calculate for a complete guarantee anything that's going to rely on RNG. But if you kind of look at like averages over time, you can and then you compensate for like margin of error, and you plan around the margin of error rather than the results, then you're probably going to be a little bit better off. But that probably depends on whatever you're doing, because this is an imaginary scenario I'm telling you that doesn't exist in reality, because it's just on paper.
That are making videos about this. Undoubtedly, there is going to be videos from every content creator about this. It's going to be talked about across Twitch. It's going to be talked about across every platform. It's going to be I mean, people like LeBron, right, are going to talk about this. Like, how is this?
So, like, it's supposed to be $100 million. I mean, everyone's saying, like, $100 million deal. It's like, obviously. LeBron James makes, like, a little under. Like, $3 million less.
Kid getting more than my signing was for an NBA team. Like, that's going to be the kind of news, and we're going to get into in a second into how that might be a real problem for Kick. But that's going to be the discussion, right? So the earned media from this is massive. It's second to none. There's no deal in history digitally that comes even close to how much this deal is going to be talked about. We're going to see this on every business podcast. We're going to see this on every publication that's possible. There's going to be talk about this ongoing for a very long time. And so what Kick has done by setting up an hourly deal is they're basically saying, yeah, sure, we'll pay you the rate of like $10,000 per hour. And I'm pretty confident that's the number. It's really close to it because the math just works out almost exactly. And that's basically been confirmed by their agency. So if you look at that number, XQC might honor that, and he might actually stream 3,000 hours. But Kick knows that he has to split his time, because this is a non-exclusive deal. He's going to be streaming on Twitch at least some of that time, as well as on I
mean, that seems like a normal thing to do, because transitioning from one platform to another is going to take some time. So, like, what he's going to do is he's going to stream some of the time on Kick and probably YouTube as well. I'm not sure. And then he's going to kind of, like, gradually, like, kind of move those people over by, like, bringing it up. And then the more you bring it up, especially since new people or people who just weren't watching, maybe they just logged in and they don't know what's going on. They haven't been online for like a month or something like that. And then they log on and they're like, wait, where's XQC? He's not on Twitch. And he's on Kick. So that's why you kind of like, you still want to have a presence on your current place, because there's going to be people who aren't paying attention to the headlines, who don't know what's going on. They may have missed an announcement. Maybe they're not in the Discord, you know? Maybe they only watch the YouTube videos, so they don't even care where he's streaming. I don't know.
Kick. And over the course of 2 years, especially if you're younger, at some point the money just like doesn't become an incentive. Like, the difference in your quality of life between like $50 million to like $70 million to like $100 million.
I think what Devin's forgetting here, and he already knows XQC is pretty much a degen. I think he's underestimating the degeneracy of XQC. He could do like 20-hour streams like multiple times in a row. Like,
especially for someone that's like 25, maybe he decides that his community on Twitch is better, or maybe he decides to like stream a little bit less. Like Kick is probably not going to end up paying out this like entire $70 million, and that 30 minutes of it.
I don't think he's gonna care too much at this point. You know, I don't think he's gonna care too much if he doesn't make the whole 70 mil.
Incentives that could sit anywhere. It could be very difficult to get. It could be locked behind events, or it might be just money that gets like filtered back into gambling, where they just like refill his pot or whatever. We don't know. But that 70 million is unlikely to actually equate out to the actual 70. And now let's say that it does. Kick probably still earned $70 million just in earned media impressions. It's not even a
yeah, like maybe okay. So anytime somebody writes a news article. And Amaranth, he was talking about this with Amaranth. Devin was. He was talking about this with Amaranth. Because Amaranth was talking about basically she doesn't have to like do any marketing really. Like people do marketing for her. I mean, she does do marketing. Apparently she has a big, an actual billboard. Which she was talking with Devin about. For her OnlyFans. And it's like, that's crazy. Like she actually did some real, like, what do they call it? I forgot what Devin probably has a nerdy term for it. But it's like, you know, like real life marketing, like not like internet marketing. Like when you actually like, you like go out and you do like canvassing, or you do like, you have somebody dancing in like a furry suit outside of your store. Or like, you know, you have like a billboard or something like that. But the thing is that there's a lot of controversy surrounding Amaranth for some reason. It's like ridiculous because it doesn't make any sense. People just have some kind of idea over, you know, she's not like doing anything wrong, you know, like, but anyway, like they write scathing articles about her, or like, you know, clickbaity articles about her. So that's free impressions. They're earned media impressions because that means that you got so influential that people are writing about you. That's where you want to be. And everybody wants to sell t-shirts, of course.
About like, you have to ask yourself, okay, if they're giving 100% of the revenue back to XQC and they're paying him this much, how the heck does this make sense for Kick? Well, it's because Kick
it's because they don't make their money from the stream. They're using the stream to bring people into their gambling. Because people who watch Twitch, or like, you know, live streams, people who watch live streams, especially for multiple hours a day, are very addictive type personalities. They're very likely to reach for their debit card if there's an incentive for them to purchase something. Like hey, like if you buy this, like you get entered into this sweepstakes or whatever. Like people like that, especially when it's someone like XQC who has like basically complete control over his viewers. No, he doesn't. He has like no control over them.
Just overnight became a competitor to Twitch. Like legit. They just literally put themselves on the board. And we're going to discuss why that's going to be a problem in the next section. Because this section is now how this changes Kick.com. So if you were in the entertainment world, or you were in that space, you know, some people on Twitch have heard about Kick. And maybe if you're watching this video, this could be your first exposure to it, or maybe you're a frequent goer of this channel and you follow marketing stuff, so we're on new platforms, we're aware of this stuff. Kick is a tiny drop in the bucket compared to Twitch. And just to like put that into perspective, so Twitch has about 724,910 live streams per day. Okay?
That's not too much. There's like 80 million on Twitch, I think. Or no, is it 200 million?
And way more average viewers versus Kick having about 110,000 live streams per day.
I was thinking the other way around.
Most of those at 0 viewers or to 10 viewers. Now, with the time that Twitch has been around, which is almost a decade, and Kick basically being younger than a year, it's actually incredible that the total live streams equates to about 1/7 of Twitch. That's unbelievable, and the platforms like Mixer...
I mean, just think about it, like the other platforms that showed up, like Brime, and like stuff like that tried to do something by signing some, like saying they were going to sign somebody or whatever. Like, and Mixer did it with Ninja and with Shroud and like some other streamers and stuff like that. It's like, dude, like... that's not having like a big giant corporation and having like a big name come over isn't necessarily what creates the viewership. It's the continual exposure and bringing people over. And over time, it just becomes normal because that's how streams work. People don't just show up to a stream because they want to watch the stream. They show up to a stream because they just randomly happen to find it. And then the next day they might forget about it. And then maybe it might show up on their notifications because they followed. They're like, "Oh yeah, I remember that person." Then they watch that person again. Then maybe a week happens, and then a week happens. There's no stream, and the person sees the stream come on, like kind of randomly, like it's been 3 hours into the stream or something. Comes in and says hi, and they're like, "Oh hey, how you doing?" Like, I remember the thing you were talking about. And then the stream and you're like, "Wow, like I haven't been here for a while," and you like remembered like what I was telling you like last time, and that makes you kind of feel like you want to stick around. And, there's like people who are like, going to read what you have to say, whatever that means. It doesn't really mean much. Doesn't really equate to much. Not all the time. But I mean, that gives people a little bit of like, hey, like life's going to be okay, maybe. There's still a lot more you got to do. It's just like a little like kind of like lifeline is like stuff like entertainment and stuff like that. Like being able to like kind of binge Netflix is, you could say it's a luxury, but I would say that it's really important for your mental health to be able to like stop thinking about your like circular problems that are just going over and over and over, and instead just like kind of take a break and just pay attention to something else and just enjoy it. I think it's really good for your mental health. It's but then concentrated rest is also very important. Not just resting, but almost like a meditation. Like when you rest and you're just like kind of like eating some chips and you're watching TV, like is that really resting? But if you're like lying down and you're like meditating and you've been meditating like in deep state of meditation for like an hour, and like you're going to be a lot more rested in that case. Way more rested than if you were just like sitting down on the couch watching TV, because your brain is still active. Like you're not slowing down your thoughts. You're not slowing down your brain. And when you meditate or even just concentrate on resting, not doing other things while you're doing it, your brain is going to like have time to like kind of let go of things and like kind of bring stuff back or make new things or whatever it does.
Which was Microsoft's effort to compete with Twitch, and even YouTube Live may not compete with these numbers. So I'm not saying that like Kick isn't like really doing impressive, but they aren't anywhere close to Twitch's market share. This move will change that, and there will be a bunch of stuff happening at Kick, and the first thing that's going to happen is heat. And I mean, it's going to turn up the fire. Everybody is going to go after Kick. Every federal agency, every single group, everybody. So Twitch, in its infancy, survived by watching movies, doing whatever you want, because no one really knew about it. And so for a long time on Twitch, you could stream Lord of the Rings, you could stream whatever the hell you wanted. I remember a director at Twitch at the time lit a chair on fire and peed it out on live stream. Like, you could get away.
Yeah, so it's going to be some time before like Kick figures out how to deal with that. Luckily, I run my stream as a complete multi-stream, so whatever, I basically use Twitch terms of service, and I obey those rules best I can. So I am not going, even though I'm on kick.com because I multi-stream, I'm also on Twitch, and so I run my stream using Twitch as a baseline.
Away with some crazy stuff back when I started streaming in like 2011, just on Justin TV. You could do basically anything. And what happened over
was that when he was doing Mylixia like dancing? I've seen a dancing video. There's a clip of Mizkif from the Twitch clip archive watching Devin dance, and it was insane. Devin is like an amazing dancer. He had mentioned that he hasn't really danced much. I don't know, maybe he does. Who knows? 1111. Wow. Secret call out. That's not the secret call out of the VOD, by the way. It's the secret call out of this video. It's not, because he didn't say so. It's my secret call out. So if you want to comment 1111 and saying Rebecca Lauren sent me, do it. Do it. Do it. 1111 timestamp, Rebecca Lauren sent me. Do it.
time was more attention got on Twitch. Articles got covered like in the New York Times about Twitch. There was a couple of scares. The music industry turned their heads. People in the entertainment industry turned their heads, and they were like, hey, like, we got to start regulating this platform. Guess what's about to happen to Kick? Right away. They just excel.
Yeah, it's going to take time, by the way, because all this stuff takes time. If you've been paying attention to the way that the government works, and especially with the current political, but actually non-political, because it's actually just Justice Department, DOJ or whatever. It's just criminal justice news about the stuff that's going on. This stuff takes time. They got to deliberate. They got to like go over things. They got to it's not like overnight, but there will be some kind of like crackdown on the website, because there has to be some, and unless they have a top-notch, like, best that money can buy team of people, of a moderation team, which, I mean, they'll probably just outsource it to like India.
Rated themselves into oblivion. Every single like right now, like on Kick, like as you watch this video, there are full movies being streamed. There's like borderline pornography.
Yeah, so it's like those people are gonna get like clapped. Like when things actually start to happen, they're not really thinking about the big picture. They've been using Kick. I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be warnings before people just get banned, because apparently the biggest selling point of Kick.com, in my opinion, and the one that all of the journalists should be focusing on, is the fact, not the fact that it's a big company, or that it's a big platform and that it's on the news, not the fact that they have plenty of money they're not going to run out. These are all big deals. Not the fact that streamers are coming over, but it's the fact that the staff actually works with you. Even someone as small as me. All I had to do was DM one of the mods on Discord, or one of the admins on Discord, and because there was no way to delete a video, and he went into my channel and deleted the video for me. A 0 viewer Andy on Kick.com, because that was my very first stream there. I apparently had 600 viewers at one point. I only get that on my other platform.
There's like crazy platforming of issues that I can't even talk about without getting demonetized on YouTube. There is some insane stuff going on Kick, and I can't even stress enough how much of a problem it is. It's such a problem that our brand agency, Nova, which is our agency that works with brands to put influencer marketing dollars into great projects, we can't spend on Kick because it's just too much of a brand risk.
Yeah, they're not ready yet. They got to cook. They got to cook as far as the brand risk goes. But for now, obviously, if you're a content creator, now's the time. And just play whatever XQC's playing.
Not even saying like brand risk in the way that you might think about it. I mean, like, nobody, even our most risk-tolerant brands, will spend a single dollar on Kick because of the crazy stuff that goes on there, the illegal stuff that goes on there, and that is about to go up to 100 over the next couple of months.
Yeah, so all those people are going to get clapped. Normal users are going to be fine because you're not breaking the law or breaking TOS. So normal users are fine. And if you're worried, you should probably do some thinking about your brand anyway. Like, if you're worried, you're probably a brand risk anyway.
The music industry, which previously had never turned their head at Kick, that has been endlessly bothering Twitch, that forced them to do a ton of deals, that changed everything about Twitch. There was so much DMCA drama. There was so much danger there.
It was October of 2020, right? That was when it happened. It was October of 2020. Everybody was rushing and frantically archiving their clips and their VODs. And Twitch didn't even have a button to mass delete your clips and VODs. They had to add it. But then eventually they just added the unpublish option. I really think they just wanted to do some like emergency like spring cleaning of their hard drive space, of their cloud space.
turn the eye of Sauron immediately on Kick. And likewise, all of these entertainment industry people, they're looking and saying, wait, what do you mean Lord of the Rings? What do you mean the Avengers is being streamed on here? And they're going to turn and they're going to be like, what? We're going, blasting. And
all you have to do is just be in safe harbor. And, you know, I think Devin's going to talk about that in a second. If you're in safe harbor, it's fine. If you're saying, hey, we are making a diligent effort to keep that kind of stuff off the platform, it will happen, but that will happen on any website. And if they have a diligent moderation team, then there should be no problem whatsoever. And especially if you work with law enforcement and with these corporations, if you work with their lawyers, like say like, hey, like what can we do to like incentivize people not to do this? Or I don't even know. Like, what do people talk about behind closed doors? Has anybody done that? I guess not.
To understand that Twitch has a lot of rules in place to keep them in something called safe harbor with most DMCA.
Not pre-watched, by the way. I literally am watching this live. I started my stream because I was like, this is a big news. I need to at least have a VOD of this. And if I'm not lazy, I'm gonna actually make a video.
That means that Twitch is regularly banning content that goes on there and basically making a best effort to ban movies, to ban things that are going on that might be illegal. But Kick is not doing any of that. In fact, Kick is basically encouraging people to do that. And I don't mean that like officially. I mean like there hasn't been an official statement, but they are not policing it, right? Like the worst you might get for doing something crazy is like maybe like a 24-hour ban. But literally the largest broadcasters on the platform with over 30,000 viewers were streaming the Super Bowl and nobody stopped.
I mean, it's really janky right now. I think they're really fucking up with that. They're playing a game that can have disastrous results if it goes wrong. And they really need to clean shit up and just like kind of, you should be like, your asshole should be squeaky clean like there was bleach on it. For them to inspect when they get there, like that, they should be like, every single day, like washing their dishes and like getting them coffee, like for say like, oh hey, look, like we're a good streaming platform, Kick.com. Look, we're good. Don't don't think that we're gonna get you into these lawsuits, whatever.
Stop them. There wasn't even a single warning. This is the kind of stuff that Kick has got two choices. They are either going to button up or, oh man, are the police. The 5-0 is coming. And it is not going to be pretty because they basically, you say, well, Kick is an Australian-based company backed by Saudi Arabian oil lords. So like, what's the danger?
Oof.
The danger.
Oof.
Isn't necessarily to Kick, although I would argue that these agencies could go after U.S. properties. So notably, the Kick is hosted by AWS, which is an Amazon product. They would very easily go to AWS and say, hey, this platform is streaming movies. Stop it. And then AWS goes, oh, okay. Like nobody opposes the feds. Okay. Nobody. That when we're talking about they say, always talk about they, like, oh yeah, they might come for you. They're they. That's the they. And they are going to say, AWS, don't protect Kick, knock it down. Sure, boss. No problem. And then Kick goes, oh, we'll just go to Cloudflare. Guess what? That's a U.S. company too. We'll come after you. Until you host your servers in Zimbabwe, they're going to be coming after you. But it doesn't end there. What happens if they host their servers in Zimbabwe and they can still keep going? Totally fine. Then the agencies go after the individual streamers, and because they don't have the safe harbor in route, what happens is these agencies start going after XQC for doing illegal. I mean, he literally just said like we can watch more movies over there, right? And that's the XQC. If you were watching this video, man, if you listen to anything I've ever said, Okay, do not go over to Kick and watch movies and full-blown stuff like just months into your new deal, dude. Every single eye is going to be upon you. You are a crazy person if you don't think that the feds can touch you. I know you're Canadian, okay, but you're between the United States and Canada, which share many different agreements and many different laws. You are doomed if you do that. As is a message out. I am sending a message out to every large Kick broadcaster. The smaller ones usually get away with it, but I can't recommend that. I don't recommend that, especially as an agency.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, you have to think about your brand. It's not that I support Kick. I'm going to get the fuck off of there as soon as possible. I had no idea about the Saudi Arabia thing. That's fucking scary. I don't think it's Kick. I think Stake.com is backed by that. But it's still, you're supporting Stake by, like, streaming there. Honestly, by streaming on Twitch, you're also supporting shit like that. By streaming on YouTube, you're also supporting shit like that. By being on Twitter, you're supporting shit like that. You know why? It's because the world's a fucked up place and all these corporations do everything possible to make sure that they can make as much profits as possible. And unfortunately, evil is the most profitable. So oil barons... human trafficking. It's really fucked up. Hopefully there can be some crackdowns on it. I don't know. People are going to be, there always got to be people like who, I think there's always going to be people who don't really think about like, I don't know, like there's got to be like legit people who like own oil and like sell it, but like how much would they really own? You know, like a spray bottle worth? I don't know.
Professional. The larger ones, you are doomed if you start doing this stuff in the next 6 months. I guarantee you they are going to, don't think just because Twitch got away with it. There was so much that happened behind the scenes to protect broadcasters. So that is number one. Kick is going to have to change substantially if they plan to survive the amount of attention that's going to be on them, which is not.
I think they plan this. Like, they're going to do a huge rebranding. They're probably going to change the name of the website, too. I can see the future, okay? I'm going to tell you right now. Kick.com is going to change to a new website. They're going to change to new owners, and they're going to sell the company to Trainwrecks TV, and he's going to be the new owner. And he is going to, like, once he gets the ball rolling, he can then manage it. He wants to use that initial, like, backlash, all the initial, like, outrage culture, all the articles. Like, I could imagine, like, I am pretty pissed off hearing that Kick.com is backed by Saudi Arabia, which is a very evil country that hates trans people. But then again, United States hates trans people, too, at least in the middle of the country. So every country hates trans people. So that's just a country I can never set foot in. Yeah, at least in California. I mean, I don't know. There's states I can't set. You will never see me in Florida. Ever. Ever. You will never see me in Florida. That's the most dangerous place to be right now in the United States for trans people, I'm pretty sure.
Going to be good. But they're also going to have to clean up clear brand risks. So there are streamers, notable streamers, in the 30,000 to 40,000 viewer range that are platforming absolutely crazy stuff.
So obviously he's not saying the name, or maybe he will. Pretty sure he's talking about Aiden Ross. And he's talking about that other guy. I forgot his name, but he's like a black guy and he had like big glasses. And he had like these Nazis on his stream. Like, what the fuck?
That again, I can't even talk to you about, because if I told you about it, I wouldn't even be able to have a career on YouTube. It's that bad. And there's no advertiser, there is no brand that is going to touch Kick with a 10-foot pole until those people are cleared up. And the problem is that a lot of the executive management at Kick thinks that they can just sort of coach these people into being better. But
yeah, it's only going to work on a certain percentage of people. Like, I'm sure XQC is totally willing to work with Train. Aiden Ross, maybe not so much. Doesn't look like it at the moment.
Problem with that is what I call the Arkham Asylum problem, okay? So, like in DC Comics, is one of my favorite things in the universe. I'm going to get a couple of nerds here talking about this. You've got Batman.
Oh, because no matter how many times you lock someone up, they're always just going to, like, somehow come back. So the problem is, how do you heal somebody who is like already so twisted there's no coming back. Like, they're trying to like help these people in Arkham Asylum, but these people are already too far gone. They're like blowing up buildings and shit. How are you supposed to reason with a person like that?
Man. And Batman captures villains, puts them in jail, and then, wouldn't you know it, they break right out and they start causing havoc again. And this happens again and again and again. And there's been many storylines that kind of explore, man, maybe we should just like stop these people entirely. Like maybe we should just end them, right? And I think that there is a solid case for deplatforming some of the people on Kick when they have just repeatedly done this, because they're just going to break out of Arkham and cause these problems.
Yeah, I mean, this context matters. Like, it's one thing if you're watching a YouTube video and like you accidentally open up like a video with like copyright material or something, and you're like, oh shit, like. Or there's somebody who's like literally like streaming Netflix shows, like not even trying to hide it, like literally just has Netflix open, no cam, like literally just Netflix is, and the chat controls the screen. Oh, Netflix should do that. They should have a public Netflix channel that's run by the community of a stream. They should have a live stream. Like there should be like a live stream for Netflix, like for people who want to watch Netflix for free. But in order to watch it, everybody has to vote, like it's like Twitch plays, by clicking on the screen, like they did with, I guess they did stuff like with OTK Elevated. They had like little widgets on the stuff. Like you click on the screen where you want to click, and the percentage of people who clicked on that, like that's what's gonna get clicked or whatever. And it's gonna favor stuff that's like actual buttons, like not like random parts of the screen or whatever. It's gonna favor like oh, this many people clicked on this movie or whatever, clicked to the next page or whatever.
Again and again and again, but Kick's management doesn't believe that. They believe they can kind of coach these people and they can get through it. And the problem is like that works until it doesn't, and you have a truly bad actor that brings down your entire platform. And there are some bad actors in mind who I can think of right now on Kick that are
Aiden Ross
are just going to cause those issues. And I think until those issues are cleared up, again with the amount of attention that is on Kick as a result of this, it is going to be all but impossible for brands to put any money into it, and all but impossible for it to ever make any kind of money. Now, there might be like 0.001% of brands, but I'll tell you from an agency perspective, just running a brand agency myself, we have literally talked to our most, like, we have some very risky brands that we work with, and they took one look at Kick and were like, no way. There's absolutely no way that we are going to do that. Okay, so that's the first thing to understand about like how this is going to happen and what is going to happen to Kick. Now you know the deal structure. So the next thing I want to talk about is what is going to happen to Twitch. There's a lot of questions about this and how this affects Twitch, and I'm going to break that down for you right after this call to action, which is, hi, I'm Devin Nash. Like I said, I run Novo. That's a brand agency that does influencer marketing across many different platforms. So if you are a brand and you want to reach out to us and you want to do some work with us, we spend advertising dollars in efficient ways with influencers. But I go further than that. I also create YouTube videos about stuff like this. And I use my agency insider kind of information to kind of like inform these videos, or at least I do a lot of these similar deals. So if you like that kind of thing, go to patreon.com/Devin Nash and support me. For $5, I've made over 90 unique videos teaching about business and marketing and everything I know.
And I've commented on every single one of them, pretty much. Actually, every single one of them. Sometimes I don't really.
$5, patreon.com/Devin Nash. That is not a meme. Average video is like 30 minutes, super good. And if you don't want to do that, you can also support me by joining discord.gg/Devin, discord.gg/Devin, which is a business and marketing server where we discuss stuff like this. So please join me on Discord or Patreon, and thank you everybody for your support. This is what we call the secret call out at 19:05 minutes.
Yeah. Oh. Blip, blip. Blip. Okay. 19:05. This is going to be a case where Cake is basically playing chicken with a truckload of nitroglycerin. Those brand risk types always get claps. And I am confident in my pretty That was a really dorky comment. Okay, screenshot it because I screenshot all my comments. I remember like it was yesterday because I have a photographic memory and I remember every night.
Meaning you're still here at a Devin Nash video, and I appreciate you. Leave a comment and let me know. We're going to move right into the Twitch section of how this will change Twitch and what will happen to Twitch. Well, the first thing this is going to do is it will force action from Twitch. One of my friends and people that is pretty intimately involved in Kick, named Trainwrecks, correctly identified this and said that this is going to be a big deal because it is going to make Kick a legitimate competitor and a legitimate worry for Twitch. Why? Well, because Felix himself represents about 2 to 3% of the total viewership on Twitch at any given day. Pretty crazy. Like, that's a lot of people. So Twitch is going to take a look at this, and this is not the first deal or the last deal that Kick has signed. And they're going to say, man, we are losing a lot of people. And plus, we've banned some other people, like notable people like Destiny, who are now doing very well on Kick by streaming there, as well as having a non-exclusive deal on YouTube. Twitch has really backed themselves into the corner with this simulcasting thing. Now, Twitch will tell you...
Wait, does Destiny actually have like a deal with YouTube, like an actual like personalized deal, or is he just like a standard partner like everyone else? I would guess something like Destiny wouldn't get actually signed with YouTube unless he had some kind of like, you know, journalistic like respect of like, hey, like we're going to deal with you because you cover a lot of like hot button issues and that drives a lot of traffic to YouTube.
They have removed contractual exclusivity, but that is not true. They have simulcasting. So yes, you can, in theory, in your contract, stream on Twitch, end your stream, and then go over to YouTube and stream, but you cannot do those two things at the same time. Because of that, some people have just decided to drop Twitch entirely and said, you know what, I'll go make more money over on Kick, or I'll go make more money in multi-broadcasting, especially for smaller streamers. Some of you who watch my videos, you know that your discovery is going to be better. Your monetization efforts are going to be better.
Okay, look, I hate to break it to you, and I know everybody goes down this whole conversation. Trust me, I'm going a different direction. You're not going to grow by streaming unless it's a very specific circumstance. There might be a certain, like, look at OTK Elevated. That wasn't a normal growth for these streamers, like Mayor Wirtz and all them, Miss Skill Shots. Because they got literally elevated, I guess. They got elevated by an existing, like, established channel, or, you know, broadcast network, OTK. And if we're going to think about, what is this, like, ABC? What is this, Fox? What is this, CBS? What is this, OTK? Channel 69? What was I talking about? I think I was talking about something that had to do with, something. I don't know. Let's
watch my videos. You know that your discovery is going to be better.
Yeah. So basically, look, Look, guys, gals, MBs. Doesn't matter what body type you have. Doesn't matter what you look like. You guys need to put yourself out there, if you know what I mean. If you're 18 or older, because like learning how to drive, you got to get a car, and if you drive your car into your computer, then you won't have to stream anymore. That's the real solution on how to grow. Yeah, no, so honestly, like, seriously, there's better platforms. If nothing else, if you just like going live and stuff like that, you're gonna have to do something a little bit different if you want to make some growth. But, but at the same time,
your monetization efforts are going to be better, a lot better on those platforms where you multi-stream instead of just putting all of the eggs in one basket on Twitch. Likewise, people like Destiny, who are a controversial broadcaster who was banned permanently on Twitch, is now doing better on these multiple platforms, both accepting non-exclusive deals from people like Kick and Rumble, as well as broadcasting there. So now this sort of Avengers group
here's how I deal with platform hate over whether or not you support a platform because of some kind of very strong stance that platform makes. Platforms like Rumble are like, I guess they're not technically aimed at conservatives, but it's pretty much, it's basically like conservative Twitch, right? Like, it's people who are like talking about like really like not hateful, yeah, I mean it is hateful, but like people like talking about stuff that's just like debunked, like conspiracy theories. Like, that's kind of funny sometimes, but like, I don't know, man. Like, at a certain point, like, do I really want to be on a platform like Rumble? Kick is going to be somewhere, so I may as well. I mean, it's eventually going to change enough to be a little bit more reasonable at some point. I don't know how long that's going to take. It might take a couple of years, who knows? But I do think that in the long run, Kick.com is the choice in addition to YouTube. YouTube's always the choice. You know, you're never going to worry about that. But the thing is like, eventually you have to say, you know what? I'm tired of trying to police which platform I use. There's certain ones you can say like, okay, I'm not going to stream on Rumble. And then I'm kind of questionable about Kick, but there are like some kind of opportunities for growth. Very rarely in live streaming. There are opportunities sometimes. But honestly, I don't really care too much what happens. Like, I'm obviously not going to get banned from Kick. I'm not doing anything like anywhere near what these people who still aren't banned, who are getting like thousands of viewers and still not getting banned. I'm literally like getting 1 or 2 viewers, and I'm also behaving myself. I'm not going against TOS at all. And so I'm the future of Kick, because I hate to break it to everybody, but if you hate Twitch for what it is, the only reason they're like that is because they're dealing with the problem that Devin is talking about right now, and they chose to deal with it in a shitty way. So I really hope Kick.com deals with it better.
All kind of forming on Kick, and that means it has a network effect. A network effect is a marketing concept where multiple popular people or things get together and cause more media and attention. It basically saturates out. So you have XQC, Destiny, Trainwrecks, Aiden Ross, all these people of this kind of certain same demographic in the live streaming world. That network effect means that collaborations are going to happen on Kick. More stories are going to happen on Kick. More news is going to happen on Kick.
Here's what I think is going to happen. XQC is going to do like he might be trying to explore, like, I don't know what his contracts prohibit him from doing, even on other platforms. or just in any kind of public appearance in general, because he probably, at his level, he probably has stipulations in his contract about like his behavior, like how he conducts himself off stream or in other people's streams, or like stuff like that. But if he has like editorial freedom there or whatever, maybe he wants to like do some edgier content, not edgy, like I don't know. I really think hate stuff really needs to get deleted. Like delete hate. Like come on, there's plenty of opportunities for content, and you guys choose the most boring, stupid, harmful ones. Let's talk about like how like if you pet a cat the opposite way, they look like Sonic the Hedgehog.
More videos are going to be made about stuff that happened on Kick, where maybe Deserto makes an article about XQC and something he did on Kick. Maybe on Reddit, there's a linked clip that is from Kick.com instead of every clip right now, which is linked from Twitch.tv. So that's a big difference. That network effect.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you never really think about that. All those Twitch clips, like anytime somebody clicks on that, they're getting traffic to the website, like that alone, even if they're not like actively engaging the website, even if they don't spend money on the website, that alone, I'm pretty sure that like drives something in the search engine algorithm, like somehow, like the more link clicks. It's just literally just like a technical algorithm thing that's just gonna like, it's basically like a little bit of it's like a boost, or it's like a buff. Like you just get like an extra like 20% or revenue or whatever. I don't know, just for free.
Effect is really coming into play here with this $70 million deal, and XQC is going to kind of be the leader of that. And like you got to bet yourself that today every single agency on Earth is messaging Kick right now and saying, hey, how about this influencer? How about this influencer? What do you think about this kind of deal? What do you think about this non-exclusive deal? Because Kick has kind of ingeniously set themselves up for a play here where if they just offer everybody blanket hourly contracts, hey, non-exclusive, stream as much as you want, they get all this earned media. If the people stream on Kick, great. They get all the viewers. They get all that attention. If they don't, still great. All these announcements go through. All these earned media go through. So now I'm delivering on the promise of what you saw in this video, right? You now know what the real motivation here is. So Kick, you're going to be like, well, at what point are they going to make money? And I don't know that they never need to make money, okay? They're backed by Saudi Arabia, which really only cares about influencer plays. They got billions and billions of dollars. They're investing into esports. They're buying up most of esports as we speak. They're investing in esports teams, which are currently failing. They're getting them at bottom dollar rates because that's what they're worth. And so they don't really care. Kick also is backed by stake.com, which is a massive gambling platform. And you have to understand there's a concept of marketing called LTV, which is the lifetime value of a customer. Okay. Or LTC.
I'm really conflicted though. Like, do I want to like not stream on Kick until there might be some magical day that they no longer backed by Saudi Arabia? Or do I like just stop streaming on Kick like permanently? Like, or do I just keep going and not give a shit? Because literally, it gets too much market attention. Like it's getting too much market attention to avoid. It's not even like about like the company. I don't even know how all this stuff works, or how much. Oh shit, is United States backed by Saudi Arabia already? So it's like, how am I supposed to draw this line? I don't know. It's really hard. Like, I don't agree with the way anything that Saudi Arabia does. But I also don't really agree with a lot of things that corporations do in general. Like, have, like, child labor, overseas. The world's a shitty place. And if somebody's going to put money on the table, I'm going to grab it if I can. If I can. Like, if there's money I can earn, I'm going to take it. If there's opportunities to grow, I'm going to take it. It has nothing to do with where the money's coming from. If they're going to make the money anyway. I may as well get my cut, right? So that I can do something to counter whatever they're doing. And they probably wouldn't care because I'm like one person. Like,
or LTVC, however you want to kind of pronounce it. We just sort of make up acronyms as we go along in the agency world. And the lifetime value of a customer means how much money they're going to spend over the lifetime interacting with your product or service. Well, gambling lifetime value of customer is extremely high, which is why if you can use Kick as a sort of front website to just pull people into gambling, knowing that XQC gambles, knowing that basically all of the prominent people that they've kind of signed over to Kick at these big landmark deals have been
And just to be clear, I have no problem with gambling. I have no problem with the money that's going in, like, from gambling. I have a problem with, like, you know, like, actual evil. I don't think gambling's evil. I think gambling is just something that people enjoy, and some people, just like alcohol, just like any kind of drugs, some people abuse it. And that's their right, because they're 18 or older. Like, they have the right to gamble their money away. It's very profitable. It's a stupid business decision to not earn money from gambling if you are already earning money from gambling. I think there is a moral stance to be taken, but I think there is nuanced. Like, I don't have a problem. I am a bit conflicted about the Saudi Arabia thing, but then the United States also does business with Saudi Arabia. And I live in the United States. It's really conflicting. And if you make a stand, what is it going to do? Like, it's just going to, like, I'm just irrelevant. So, like, but, you know, like, I could just not give a fuck and say, you know what? I know who I am. I know what my values are. I know what I stand for, and I stand against hate. And also, me not streaming on a platform would not do anything about the situation. And in fact, if there was anything that could happen, streaming on the platform itself would, and if especially, like, let's say you had, like, a large influence, you would then be able to steer the direction and maybe have conversations and like, change things in the world. But I think it's what Devin was saying earlier. It's like the Arkham Asylum conundrum. You know, it's like some people just don't want to change their minds. Usually it's very religious fundamentalists, which I personally understand them to be completely away from God. You know, that's the opposite of what this is supposed to be all about. It's supposed to be all about acceptance and love and just doing our best to get along and make the world a better place. Like, that's literally all we're here for. And there's people out there that'll just stomp on other people. I don't know. This world's a shitty place. But I can't focus on that. I need to focus on myself. And if I can, I don't know, if I can have a few extra viewers coming from a website, I'm going to take it, because I am desperate in any chance to get with growth, even if it's like from a random live stream. Like, I don't know. And also it's just like, I don't know, who the fuck cares? Like, if you have a problem with Kick, you should have a problem with literally the website that you're using to read about that or to watch a YouTube video. Because literally every corporation in the world is international, and the world has different laws in different countries that they can get around certain sanctions or whatever in their home country. So they'll do things like have child labor to make cell phones or shoes. And it's just really fucked up situation, but we can only help ourselves and our own loved ones and our own family, and hopefully do something to make the world a little bit better while we're here. In our own little teeny tiny places where we are. And if you're in one of those dangerous places, your goal is to get safe. Your goal is to become a refugee at that point. If you're in a place where, like, if you're in Florida right now and you're transgender, treat it the same as you would Saudi Arabia. Like, honestly. But I'm not going to ban Florida from my life just because I don't want to be there. But that's a little different than Saudi Arabia, I think. There's a lot of shitty things going on in the world. It's a really fucked up place. Putting your head in the sand, pretending that it doesn't exist, is not going to make it go away. And instead of, like, making some virtue signaling bullshit about, like, how, like, oh, I don't support this company because they didn't put a pride flag up or something. Like, dude, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Putting a pride flag up is not doing anything to help gay and trans people. You know what it is probably, like, you know, just educating people how to read. so they know like basic science and, you know, basic empirical data about like healthcare and stuff like that trans people need, and that there's really no reason for them to be worried about us at all. At least not at least any more than anybody else on the planet, because we're still humans, and you should always understand that humans are capable of things. So trans people are humans, therefore trans people can also capable of doing things. I don't know. Sometimes I get a little scared because I get a little panic attack when I hear certain things like god damn. Like,
that gamblers, they know that some percentage of those people, and they've got the math on the back end, are going to move over to stake, and they're going to gamble with these people, and their lifetime value of the customer is going to be within the thousands.
And I'm pretty sure there are like LGBTQ people on Kick. So you have to understand, it's not about the people who are backing it. It's about like the people who are running it. So it like, let's say like, what if there was like a transgender like company that like lifted up trans people and like helped them with their healthcare and surgeries and gave them housing, and like they like made sure that trans people like were okay, that we get to live our lives healthy and happy and safe. But what if they were backed like financially by like, I don't know, like a Republican like company or something like a conservative investor that's like, you know, also donates to like an anti-trans thing. I would say that like your efforts are probably better than that person's, and that person's efforts are probably not, like your efforts are going to be a net positive. And I don't know, it's really weird calculation. Being a content creator must be really difficult, like morally. Like you have to make these moral decisions like all the time. And sometimes you can't come back from them. I really doubt there's anything that you can, that is completely impossible to come back from. There's very few things in, like they call it catastrophic risk. There's very few things in life that you can't come back from. There's certain things that you definitely can't come back from. But, you know, for example, like I'm having bottom surgery at the end of the year. After that, I will never have a PP again. I will have a VV. Yay!
Dollars. So that's why a lot of people are going to say here that, well, why doesn't Twitch, because remember we're in the Twitch section here, do 70-30 subscriber splits across the board? You might say, you know, we're kind of expecting, like well, surely Twitch is now going to announce 70-30 subscriber splits across the board in response to this, because Kick is currently offering 95-5, and YouTube already offers the 70-30 split. But if you actually listen to a lot of the people that are kind of the insiders within Twitch, notably you can look at the former head of partnerships, who's also a friend of mine named John Howe. I deeply respect this person. Writes on Twitter, I don't think people understand that 70-30 across the board is literally not sustainable. Streamers are anti-ads and refuse to run them at a volume that would allow Twitch to be fair, with the revenue-paying viewers.
They say it welcomes LGBTQ visitors. Oh yeah, they want us to come so they can like tell, so that they can virtue signal to their other to other nations that they're like welcoming or whatever. Who knows? Is this our Hassan arc? What am I doing? God damn it. The hell is going on here? Pisses me off. Okay. As Saudi Arabia continues its drive to attract tourists, authorities in the country appear to be reaching out to a particularly lucrative section of the market, LGBTQ travelers. The website of the Saudi Tourism Authority, STA, seems to have had its Q&A section updated to state that gay visitors are welcome in the kingdom. Everyone is welcome to visit Saudi Arabia, and visitors are not asked to disclose such personal details. Is the website's response to the question on its fact page. Are LGBT visitors welcome to visit Saudi Arabia? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm never setting foot there. I don't know. Is it safer in Saudi Arabia or Florida right now? for trans people. If Saudi Arabia is safer than Florida right now, I'm gonna laugh. It is not known exactly when the website was updated. A spokesperson for the STA said that the policy had previously been in place, but an archived version of the website on March 14th, 2023 and before did not have the question and answer on the page. Same-sex sexual activity is an offense in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, so it's like you can't be gay. You can be gay, but you can't be gay. So, I mean, if you're traveling in Saudi Arabia, you should probably be, like, on edge the entire time, making sure that you get the fuck out of there safe. By obeying the law, whatever. If they make me wear a burqa, like, whatever the fuck. Oh, God. Jesus Christ. Why does life have to be so shitty sometimes? Why can't people just, like, stop hurting each other and, like, just take care of, like, basic necessities? Like, the bare necessities. According to the Human Dignity Trust, which campaigns for the rights of LGBT people around the world, trans people can also face prosecution in Saudi, with substantial evidence of the law being enforced and consistent reports of discrimination and violence against LGBTQ people. LGBTQ plus travelers are a lucrative market, according to Darren Byrne, CEO of Out of Office, a luxury travel planning service for the community, and of Travel Gay, the world's largest LGBTQ plus travel platform. Research shows they spend more money in a destination than heterosexual couples and tend to travel more times a year, he told CNN. It's a very interesting and lucrative demographic, and countries are plowing major revenue into attracting it. Whether LGBTQ travelers will feel comfortable traveling to Saudi, however, is another matter. Byrne said that destinations such as the Maldives and Dubai, where homosexuality is a criminal offense, are popular, but without more assurances from the authorities, Saudi Arabia could be a tougher sell. It's pretty vague and doesn't offer the assurances that could make me feel able to send our clients safely to the destination. But anything on the website about LGBT travelers is a good starting point, he said. I can't think of another Middle Eastern tourist board that has even mentioned them, except Qatar in the run-up of the World Cup, and even that was vague, saying that everyone was welcome. But my concern is what the reality is like in the destination. Are they saying that a same-sex couple can check into a hotel and get a double bed without any issues? My hunch would be that that's not the reality. Yeah, it's really fucking scary. Really fucking scary. But, you know, eventually, here's what I think's going to happen. Here's what I think's going to happen with the world. Eventually, we all know that the only true killer of power is irrelevance. We all know this. It doesn't matter what ideals you have. It doesn't matter how much money you have or whatever. If you're irrelevant, you're done. And people are noticing, even the people who hate trans people and gay people, they're noticing that the world is inevitably accepting us eventually. Like they can't just keep going on like this. Like they're going to have to adapt if they're going to want to stay like wealthy nations, because eventually oil is going to get replaced. And you're going to have to come up with a new way to make money. And if your idea of a sustainable nation is like a whole bunch of people who are privately owned companies, like the United States of America with a bunch of privately owned corporations, we look at Saudi Arabia and for some reason we think that's different. Just because it looks dirty, and it is dirty, and there's a whole bunch of shit going on there. But that's like, we're literally working with these Middle Eastern countries. And like we've had military people like actively work with like known like human traffickers, because there was like a temporary like this is the nature of politics and geopolitical like things is like it's so complicated. You can't just, I mean, some things are very simple, like I don't know, like people need water and it needs to be clean. I don't know. It's really fucked up place. I'm glad I'm in California. This is probably the safest place to be in as a trans person. It's like, I don't know. I just want to live a good life. I'm going to do the best I can with the limitations that the world has set on me. with their hatred. But I'm not going to like second guess myself every single time I hear about some kind of bullshit about like somebody, like I'm not going to cancel. I hate this fucking, like, everybody who does that is irrelevant. And if I want to make a difference, if I actually want to make a difference to trans people, I have to put that aside. 'Cause canceling every company that maybe like, oh, that company, like, they don't hire like people enough, or like dude, like going in and like looking at every single detail so that you can make sure that like, oh, I need to only buy from companies that like are like GMO free and like humane, certified humane. It's like dude, like, that's not going to change the reality of the mega corporations. Like, we need to come together and actually deal with that problem. If you want to support local businesses, that's great. You should. Not everybody can, because usually those places are more expensive and not as not as accessible as, bigger like corporation stores like Walmart or Target or, stuff like that. If there's anybody who would want, if there's anybody whom I'd want to have money from oil barons, it would be somebody who is running a website that offers a 95-5 split to content creators, because that means that money, instead of going to like evil, basically shifting the evil, instead of that, it's hitting a dead end. We're basically putting that money back into the people who need it. The people who actually deserve it. Not the people who are just like, have a bunch of oil and then they're just like selling it. Like,
you sort of see how powerful the offering of kick and stake are going to become in this battle. Twitch really only has ads to bring their platform up, and the kind of exclusive ability to sell those ads to those live streams. And that's why we recently saw that brand change, where they said for a brief moment, you can watch one of my former videos on this, Twitch's ambition to control your content. They said, yo, like, we're going to control that now. You can obviously see that now they're trying to incentivize ads. They're trying to push ads so high. But meanwhile, like, Kick doesn't have any ads, and they just sit there, and they could even serve like 1/10 of the ads that Kick's, if they ever get any people to sponsor them. But they could serve like 1/10 of the ads that Twitch does, and they'd be fine. But meanwhile, Twitch is pissing off its viewers. So Twitch is in a hard place. Twitch has to compete with a platform that has an infinite backing from gambling and doesn't really care about being profitable on the same level that they do. They're fighting a different war. So it's just a different battle. So it's a pretty crazy situation. So Twitch can't do this, the 70-30 subscriber split. That's not going to happen. They're going to see a bunch of coverage about that. Like, well, now surely they're going to do it. Not going to do it. So we've already discussed that this represents a 2 to 3% loss.
Yeah, I mean, what would be even funnier if they just say, you stream for free now. Nobody gets paid on Twitch. That's going to be the next announcement. Oops, I need to move my webcam. Sorry, Devin. I didn't mean to be rude. Let me move. Give you some room. Whoa.
In total viewership. It encourages Twitch to do further monetization options going forward. I was going to make a video about that. I still might, where Twitch has just recently announced that for
I don't know, it's like, how do you even begin to think of these problems? Because it's like, you try to think outside of the box, but often there's a reason why we draw the conclusions for things. And I like to make the example of like artificial intelligence, like machine learning. You basically just infinitely refine it. It reaches a point where anything more is just going to be like extremely diminished returns on how much calculation is done that actually like adds a benefit to it, like a chess engine. It does make a difference, but it's marginal.
They're mid-sized creators. They're going to honor a 70-30 split of subscriber revenue up to the $100,000, and we can kind of talk about who that affects. And mostly mid-sized creators, doesn't really affect anybody else that much.
But Devin, how does this affect esports?
And so Twitch might be expanding its monetization options and looking at how they can compete with Kick, but ultimately they are beholden to Amazon.com's dictatorial, I mean, like, absolutely draconian profitability metrics. Well, like, you have to make money as a company. You have to make it this way. You got to do it off of your ad networks, and there's no stake.com to come save you. So Twitch is going to have to be really creative on how they do this. And while I do think they're moving forward, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. So that is what I think will happen to Twitch. I think that another thing is that Twitch probably won't ultimately lose a ton of market share. I'll be following this, and I'll be reporting on this as the months go by. I don't anticipate that Kick is going to be like a 30 to 40% total competitor, whereas like right now it's about a 7 to 10% competitor with Felix of the total market share of people that watch streams. Streaming as a platform isn't like really growing anymore. The people that kind of know about live streaming and can donate the time to it are already doing it, and it's growing.
Yeah, here's the thing: is like the pandemic really hit like a huge kind of like need for a lot of people, because people were really scared. They thought they would like not ever be able to leave their house again. They didn't know if they'd ever be able to talk to people in person again. I personally was like, is this just our new reality now? Like, I don't think I was the only one, like, during the pandemic who actually said, is this just how we live now? Like, we just all have to isolate in our homes and we use Zoom, and like, is this literally what life is going to be like now? And of course, obviously, you know, life returns to equilibrium, and, you know, we deal with viruses and all the time, and eventually we kind of just keep going, and the world just kind of keeps going, and hopefully some things get better. Some things unfortunately get worse, but in the end of the day, all we have control over is this body that we have, and we can put our energy out into the world in a negative way by just pointing a finger at everybody and saying that what they're doing is wrong, and then never doing anything ourselves. Or we could just own up, you know, just like, you know, step up, you know, to the plate, swing. There is like a saying. It's like, you know, basically the path to enlightenment, you know, if you're like into like Buddhism or anything like that, the path to enlightenment, if you see the like a mountain or a really big hill, and there's like a bunch of entrances, like across like a bunch of large amount of area, and people are wondering which path to take. But here's the thing, is every single one of those paths leads to enlightenment. Every single one of those paths leads to enlightenment. And the only one that's wrong is the person who's circling around the mountain and saying, "Hey, you're taking the wrong trail. You should take this one instead." That's the only way to avoid enlightenment. Because otherwise, you're just policing everybody. You're saying, you know, what does it matter? It's really arbitrary. Pick the one that makes the most sense for you in this life. Make sure that you get yourself comfortable and safe, and then comfortable. And just kind of make sure that you take care of the people you love. That's really what matters. My camera does that every now and then. Like, what the fuck is that? I need to look into that.
Growing a little bit, but not like it did during COVID, and not like it did before that. So you kind of have your market share of like what it is going to be. I don't think that
a lot of people were scared, right? Like, a lot of people were scared that they would never be able to leave their house or see people in person again. But luckily, like, Twitch exists, and people were like, "Hey, like, I didn't know this existed." There's probably a lot of there's a lot of new Twitch viewers, and these people, I'm telling you who these people are. They're people who have really not watched much of stuff on the internet except like maybe they're like really into YouTube or like maybe they watch Moist Critical or something. But they find out about Twitch and they realize that there's this platform where they can just hang out. It's not about like watching a video. It's different than YouTube. I mean, unless it's like an event. But like it's different than YouTube in the sense that like you don't go there to specifically watch something. You don't go to Twitch to specifically watch something unless it's like a scheduled event, obviously. And you announce that to Discord and Twitter and stuff. But I guess you just announce that to social media. I forgot what I was talking about.
Realistically moves up to like 30 or 40% market share, that would represent a higher market share than Mixer, Facebook, and YouTube in their prime combined, which only represented like less than 10% of the market share. Although Kick is already doing quite well, even 10% to 20% market share is a massive blow to Twitch and will turn a bunch of heads. Now, again, there's an X factor here where this deal is, you can't estimate the amount of earned impressions, the amount of attention that this deal is going to get. This number, most people are not going to watch a video like this and really understand that this isn't truly $70 million or $100 million, right? They're just going
to... They kind of ballpark these just so there's like, just to make the discussions happen, right? You have to have some number to work with, right? You can't just go into a deal like, okay, let's figure out these numbers. No, you have to have like a starting number to like pitch to somebody. And just because it's like, hey, us humans, we're not too smart. We kind of need like a little bit of extra help to like kind of help, make things into a framework so we can understand it. And with numbers, it's easier just to like make a good educated guess and just kind of stick with it. Nice round numbers like 70 or, 128.03765.
going to see that headline, they're going to go, whoa, what the hell? And then they're going to be like, man, that's crazy, and they're going to go look at Kick. So the next few months for Kick might represent a massive exodus from Twitch for live streamers, especially if Kick manages to officiate and make that hourly deal available to all potential partners. I believe there was I wish I had a source on this, but I had to make this video very quickly. But I believe they were offering something like $15 to $20 an hour for any partner that moved over that met their requirements, which was something like 50 to 100 concurrent viewers and some other stuff that could, whatever matches their verified program. Somebody can update in the comments, or I can update later on that. But they are planning.
And here's another thing: is if you make money for them, they're not going to kill you.
Offer an hourly program to all partners to pay for them. Now, I have heard some reports anonymously.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible. I mean, like, people are terrible. It's so fucked up how the world works. That, like, really, like, none of these, like obviously laws matter. Like the rule of law matters, and, like, as long as justice is being served. If it's unjust, that's different. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. There's people who are kind of like a little less charitable of people who have opinions. It's very easy for me to talk about my opinions because I understand that my opinions, they're always flexible. I mean, there's some things that are less flexible. I'm obviously never going to like think that trans people aren't real because I'm trans. So, there's certain things like that, but like, I don't know. Putting your head in the sand doesn't make the situation go away. It doesn't. Only thing we can do is make some power plays. Maybe if you put some chips on the table, maybe you can clean them out. Let's clean out the hate out of the world. Nothing wrong with Saudi Arabia. There's something wrong with the people who run the evil. And the evil knows no borders. Evil has nothing to do with country. The country is where it happened to land. Like the evil that's happening in the United States right now, against trans people, against black people, against everyone, really. The evil that's happening in the United States right now has nothing to do with the United States. It has nothing to do with good, honest Americans. It has to do with the people who have hate. and they have power and they want to continue that hate and they want to systemically drive it into more hate so that they can have more power and so they can achieve whatever insane ideology they hold about whatever they have. Like, trees have to have at least 3 branches if they're on your house, or you have to like stream for 100 hours.
From some people, both personally and from a lot of the people that I talk to, that the payment for those hourly things is a little bit shaky. So obviously, if you are a small content creator considering making this move, consider that Kick is a platform that is not beholden to USA laws and payments and terminology, and can pretty easily mix things up, like with accounting. Now, I'm not accusing them of anything or saying anything like that. It's just that, like, the analogy that I would use is
you should never treat live streaming as your primary source of income anyway. Live streaming is just basically free money for somebody who's earning money already, right? So it's like if you have sponsor deals, you have events, you have collaborations, and you're really just trying to build your clout. If you build your clout, everything else grows. So it's like, so their job is to collaborate with other big people so that they, combine audiences and get more media attention.
Look at anything or say anything like that. It's just that, like, the analogy that I would use is you look at someone like Twitch. And even though I'm not a big fan of Twitch, they are beholden to U.S. law. They're a California-based company. They are going to have accounting principles that are regulated. And you can bet that if you have a payment outstanding from Twitch, they are going to give that to you. Now, Kick, right now, as of the time of this recording, is more like the meth head in the alley that's like, hey, bro, I'll give you $50 if you come over and talk to me for a while. He may very well have $50. He may give it to you. But he might also disappear, or you might see him licking his socks in 10 minutes. That's really the analogy you need to think about as you...
I mean, that's $50 well spent right there. I mean, that alone, that's way better than...
kind of like contemplate moving over as a content creator to Kick. It's certainly a much riskier thing, and you might like be really tempted by the numbers that they put up, but the sheer amount they have to grow, they could be completely all within their rights, and they could be like completely above board and like they just want to do the right thing, but the sheer volume and the sheer amount of payment they're going to have to do and process, and the accounting teams are going to have to onboard, and the amount of streamers that are going to be interested in it is going to create problems that they may not honor.
Well, I mean, they're using Stripe though, at least, and they're not using some kind of weird crypto
by virtue of that. And that's
although there will be a weird crypto there. I'm probably not going to touch it.
They're like 100% legit. So there's going to be
if Kick starts a crypto, I really hope that I don't make a ton of money off of it. I don't think I would feel safe cashing out a crypto from Kick.com. I think at least with Stripe, you're like protected or whatever. I mean, I guess with crypto you are too. There's like exchanges, but then again, those, I don't know. The world's a fucked up place. Is all I'm gonna say. Is like just stop caring so much. Just make sure you don't do direct harm. And like if there's something that's like harmful, like be aware of it. And as soon as you find out, I don't know. It's like just Jesus Christ. Good luck. Moral decisions are really difficult sometimes as far as business goes, because sometimes things are really gray. Like, I don't know. And then some people will accuse them of not being gray. Like, there's some people would be like accusing me, for example. Like if I was being canceled for like still stream, like it's not like I'm like supporting like the people who are backing the funding. They're just like, they're giving them money. It is like, dirty money. It's oily money. But it's like somebody else is going to get that money, and I'd rather it be me than somebody who's probably going to commit another evil or another crime or something like that. I'd rather me get the money who's going to like lift up my people and like, try at least make up my life better.
A lot of problems there as content creators, kind of like moving over. And if you've got a real good thing going on Twitch, you may not want to like drop everything there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like a 0 viewer Andy, just do whatever the fuck is going to make you any viewer at all. If you're streaming, stop streaming, but don't don't stop streaming just because you think you shouldn't. Like, if you want to stream, but like, and you should, and I think everybody should stream, like, not about like career, just, I feel like everybody on this planet needs some kind of, like, remember on Star Trek, they had like log entries? I feel like it's important for people to do that. Even if it's just like, you know, entertainment, like that is a log entry, like, you know, act like a clown for 30 minutes or, you know, like making content and stuff. Like that's, wait, are you back now? That was at 1945? Oh, you're back! I missed you. Megasonic. I missed you, Megasonic.
Right away. So there's that's I think it's a really important thing to keep in mind for like content creators. But yeah, this changes the board. The big thing here is that if
you're a zero viewer, Andy, your first step is to make sure that you just do something with your life that is going to be outside of streaming, regardless of whatever that is. It might just be like weaving baskets. Devin's example. If you're a basket weaver for 3 years, even if you have 0 viewers on Twitch, you've made a ton of baskets that you can like sell to someone. Maybe you like sell it to like a private investor. Maybe you sell it to a you know, who's going to like sell them to a chain of stores, in a chain of stores, you know, or something like that. Or maybe you're going to like have a YouTube channel on how to basket weave because you spent the last 3 years learning how, and now you have the skills where you can be like, this is how you basket weave, bitches. And like you got a whole YouTube channel there with like a Discord and like a Patreon and like you guys got like a, I don't know, you have like a Minecraft server. I mean, that's real success right there.
Probably the greatest influencer marketing move in history. And I say that with
okay, and now we
the board. The big thing here is that this is probably the greatest influencer marketing move in history. And I say that with a deep respect to
Congrats, XQC, you did it. And you did it without being Donald Trump. Because that guy's definitely going in the history books for something, but I think he has a bunch of consequences that he has to face for that you don't, Mr. XQCL.
To the people that structured this deal, it's amazing. The amount of earned media from this is going to be the X factor that really could take Kick. Like the way I'm going to be wrong and that Kick actually owns like 30, 40, 50% of the market share. God, it's unimaginable right now. But with all the mistakes that Twitch is making repeatedly and just all the negative PR and all the streamers' mentality and the splits, like maybe they do it. And if they're going to do it, it's going to be through like a Hail Mary like this big push, the world's biggest influencer marketing play. Wow. I mean, I'm impressed. If it sounds like I'm excited, I love marketing. I love how attention flows and how this works. And I just think this is probably one of the coolest moves I've ever seen for a platform to do to get attention. Now, like we talked about, not all that.
Devin is like really dedicated. He does this because he wants to. He doesn't do it because he needs to. He literally wants to make videos like this. He is so freaking like on it. Like he has a system now. He's using asterisks and hyphens. I think he's learning from my comments. Wait, is Devin Nash an AI and I'm actually the genius? Wait, is the entire internet AI and I am the genius who created it?
Attention is going to be good. And over the next couple of months, it is going to be a total... it's going to be a mess. And I can't wait to watch it all. So I'll be keeping you posted.
Yeah, this is time to get some popcorn, okay? This is going to be all over LSF. This is going to be this is going to be the content for the next couple of months. Is whatever comes out of this. There's so many things that can happen from here. There's so many content creators that might even make a complete rise up based on this. Like, what if there's somebody who literally starts streaming? They literally just start streaming every single game that XQC plays at the same time that he's playing it. Or I just like, live my life because I'm in a touching grass kind of moment of my life right now. I'll talk about, and let's finish this last couple seconds of the video. Jesus fucking Christ.
Posted here on the Devin Nash channel. Thank you everybody for coming out, and I hope this video provided context that you couldn't get anywhere else. We'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm in a touching grass portion of my life right now. If you guys haven't noticed, I haven't been live as often. I'm taking care of some things that I really need to take care of in my life the past 4 years. Like, I really needed this. And I have a surgery coming up at the end of the year that's going to just change everything so much for the better. Really ease up my brain. Just constantly having a reminder of something, and even then, like, it's so difficult to talk about because I don't know if people understand. Gender dysphoria. This is boring topics. This is how not to get viewers. Talk about trans stuff. You guys, you know why? It's because being trans is boring. It's just being a person. I'm still me. I'm just trans. Like, this is still me. It's just I'm happier. That's the only difference. And I guess I might be like a little cuter. But yeah, I am happier. Cool beans. Yeah, but it's boring. It should be boring. It should be boring. Nobody wants to fucking hear about my medical treatments. Except for people who are also going through them. That's what YouTube's for. But even then, fuck that. There's already enough information. No, I'm just kidding. Just use ChatGPT to get HRT. Chat HRT. It's not ChatGPT, it's Chat HRT. It's the new ChatGPT of the woke agenda. It's going to teach you how to read. And it's going to make sure that you have employment opportunities. And it's going to make sure that, like, you have food to eat. And that you have a place to live. That's that horrible woke agenda. Horrible woke agenda of trying to help people live their lives in peace and harmony. It's terrible. I can't imagine why anybody would want that. Why don't you step aside? Okay, let the... Yeah, I love ballet. And I'm going to be learning modern dance and jazz dance as well this semester. It's a summer semester. It's really intense, but it's shorter. I won't be able to go back to school until next summer at least. And if not, I may even have to wait longer depending on how recovery is and what the doctors say. But like, I most likely won't be able to do the splits for a while after the surgery. But other than that, I'm gonna listen to my doctors and my body on that. But like, whatever happens in the summer next year, I'm gonna go back and continue again. And then I want to continue with ballet. Like, I think it's pretty cool. I feel good about myself. I feel good about my body, even with the dysphoria. And I did have some dysphoria. And look, mostly I'm finding that I really love who I am when I'm thriving in an environment that works for me. Performing arts, music, dance, theater, working with people on a level that most people never do. And I think it's beautiful. I really do think performing arts is like the true like expression of what it means to be a human. And there's so many different medium options. Like, you can do dance, you can do music, you can do film, you could do art, like like painting, you can do sculpture. That's different kind of art. That's not performance art. I mean, I guess if you make somebody who's like, you get like a chisel of marble. I mean, you get like a block of marble and put it in like Madison Square Garden or whatever. And there's like people who like are doing like a crazy dance routine while they chip away at it. And then it creates like a permanent fixture of art. That would be pretty cool. Like that's like sculpting with art with performance. Like, I don't know, practice is a performance in itself, right? Like, you're in the practice room, you have your instrument and stuff, like your oboe that I got today. I had the mouthpiece, not the mouthpiece. I keep calling it a mouthpiece. It's not a mouthpiece. It's a reed. I got like a Leger reed. And I'm not very good at this time. I just got it today. And I also hadn't practiced too much with the reed alone. But I can get the C, I think, like pretty consistently. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little different than clarinet. Yeah, the buttons have like holes on them sometimes, but they're not all the time. Yeah, and there's like little half buttons too. It's crazy. I've never touched an oboe in my life. Maybe once. Like somebody had one and I was like, can I see it? Gotta make the O face. I'll get my groove, don't worry. It'll take time. Maybe like a few weeks. There might be a leak. I need to get some thread or I need to get some string. You blow that very well. Cardano! Welcome back, Cardano. How are you? We're learning the oboe. And I started doing ballet. I'm in my touching grass arc right now. I was in touching grass arc back in 2015 to 2018. And now I'm in my touching grass arc in 2023 with some very happy things happening. One more surgery. Meh. Meh. Megasonic. What are you maying about? What are you maying about? Do you want a cookie? Can I get you a cookie? I won't give you a cookie. You earned it. You've been in the chat the longest. You were the first. You deserve a cookie. I'm gonna eat the cookie for you. So apparently the pressure is supposed to come from the top lip. I basically just keep this as a flat table, kind of like clarinet, I guess. No. Let's make sure we're in tune. I'm gonna do some fingering. God damn it. The fuck? Oh, I know what happened. Okay, let's do that. And then I gotta just move this one. Whoops. Ah! What the fuck is going on with the webcam thing? Trying to move it around is like doing this. Like, what the hell? Just... What? Okay. Oh. Tom play? Oh, it's just a straight up finger chart. Okay, so. Okay, C sharp, lowest known. Okay. Or does it go lower? I think it goes lower. That's. Okay, there's two keys here, right? Then you have like I think the one like up here. Oh, it shows you on the right. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's just pretty simple. Oh, it's just a C but with the raised thing. Okay. Maybe she's gonna do a better job. Harmonies from home.
Hi guys, and welcome back to Harmonies from Home. Today we'll be talking about hand positions and basic fingerings on the oboe. Before I begin, make sure to check out our Elements of an Oboe and How to Tune an Oboe video so you get a better understanding of the instrument before you start playing.
Yeah, let's go do that. Let's talk about dynamics. No. Oboe lessons. Let's go. Elements of an oboe.
Hi, Hi, and welcome to Harmonies from Home. I'm Annabelle, and today I'm going to be showing you what the oboe is. I know it looks like the clarinet, but it's actually thinner. It's made of wood and metal, and it gradually gets bigger at the end, where it widens into the bell. The other three main body parts of the oboe are the lower joint.
Not everybody uses wood oboes. Apparently plastic. Or I mean, apparently there's apparently they mix wood and plastic for like the most expensive ones or something like that. I'm not really sure.
The upper joint and the reed. The oboe sound is produced from the reed. Two blades made of wood, similar to bamboo, are wrapped
Except
together by special
mine
threads
is a
and
Ligier
scraped
reed,
into how oboe is
synthetic.
formed. These blades vibrate together to make the sound that we hear. The reed is so important to the oboe that professionals often spend more time making them than actually practicing the instrument.
And that's why I have a Ligier. Probably going to collect so many of these over my life. What's with the echo? Because I'm using headphones, because it's picking up the audio.
As the sound is made, the pitch is changed by metal keys that allow the opening and closing of the holes that run across the instrument. If all the keys are pressed down, the holes close and the pitch is lower. As the keys lift up, the pitch gets higher. It also has one or two octave keys depending on the type of oboe that raises the pitch of most notes by an octave. The oboe has a sound that is clear and haunting, but you might even think it sounds like a duck sometimes. Its range is slightly lower than that of a flute and covers a little over 2.5 octaves. At the beginning of every orchestra concert, the oboe plays a note that the rest of the orchestra tunes to. Anyways, I hope this helped you learn something new about the oboe and know that these music elements help to produce music.
So
Please
basically,
subscribe to Harmonies from
what I heard about from another video is that basically every single note on the oboe can be played on the reed between C and C sharp. I love this thing already. I'm going to put a lot of effort into it this summer. And then I'll have yet another instrument I can double on for potential work. Let's go. Let's go. I already have clarinet. I got tenor sax. I got alto sax. I got soprano sax. I have a flute. And I have an iwi. and also, if none of that cuts it, I have an 88 key M Audio MIDI keyboard. I don't have any really good VSTs though, but you can make your own VSTs. Anyway.
That run across the instrument. If all the keys are pressed down, the holes close and the pitch is lower. As the keys lift up, the pitch gets higher. It also has one or two octave keys depending on the type of oboe that raises the pitch of most notes by an octave. The oboe has a sound that is clear and haunting, but you might even think it sounds like a duck sometimes. Its range is slightly lower than that of a flute and covers a little over 2.5 octaves. At the beginning of every orchestra concert, the oboe plays a note that the rest of the orchestra tunes to. Anyways, I hope this helped you learn something new about the oboe and know that these basic elements help to produce music. Please subscribe to Harmonies from Home if this got you interested in learning more about different instruments that make up classical music. Thank you. and today I'm going to be talking about oboe reeds. So what exactly is an oboe reed? Well, it's categorized as a double reed and is made from cutting and shaving down a cane reed. One cane reed is cut into two pieces that are placed face to face and strapped to a piece of cord called a staple.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, and it comes from like when you take two blades of grass together. It's such a natural instrument. Obviously, the oboe itself is not very natural, but the reed itself is like so natural. This is a synthetic reed, so it's not natural at all. But you know what I mean?
Specifically, it is wrapped onto the metal part of the staple with a special kind of thread. The two reeds are curved in a way that allows a gap between them. This tiny gap allows the oboist's airstream to pass through and cause vibrations that expand throughout the instrument. The structure of the reed is crucial when making oboe reeds. The main sections are the tip, heart, and back, and specific sections consist of the blend, spine, windows, and rails. When a reed is past its threading stage but not yet scraped, it is considered a blank.
This is a European scrape. The Ligier reeds are made ready to play. Straight out of the box. You buy this, it's ready. It's beautiful too. So consistent. Every single Ligier reed I've ever had for any instrument has been extremely consistent throughout its lifetime. I have no idea why people are still using cane. Get with the times. This will save your playing because you can actually practice instead of making reeds all day like this person.
Using a blank, oboists then start to create all of these sections by first scraping the bark away and then starting at the tip.
Right?
Slowly and
Who wants to do that all day? Obviously people who love reeds. But seriously, like who wants to do this to play a music instrument?
by first scraping the bark away.
That's what people have had to do for for thousands of years.
And then starting at the tip.
This is what people have had to do for thousands of years. And all it takes is one company called Ligier to finally pay off. It's all this thousands of years of effort on the oboe, all boiled down into a single design. European cut. I'm not sponsored.
Slowly and carefully, the rest of the sections are scraped till they are balanced. When first creating a reed, not one of these sections are scraped all the way first. Oboists have to make sure to go back and forth between the sections so the reed is evenly balanced. Reeds are usually not perfect in just a few days and are always adjusted when needed. Reeds differ in many ways, but places that sell reeds usually classify them into categories labeled soft, medium, and hard. The more cane there is on a reed, the more resistant, and the less cane there is, the less resistant. That is why most beginners start on softer reeds and gradually shift to harder reeds as their embouchures change and they start to learn.
By the way, you don't always have... Harder doesn't mean better. Just because a lot of times students will make the mistake of they'll start on a softer reed, but as they get better over the years, they'll start using harder and harder reeds. Hard reeds are only specifically used for very specific mouthpieces that also resonate certain ways with how the individual musician plays. You can't just pick an instrument or a reed or a mouthpiece and say that, like, unless it's Ligier, and say that it's like that's the only way to do it, or that that's. What was she saying?
On softer reeds and
yeah, because like softer doesn't mean worse. There's a certain point where it's just so soft it's basically grass. But for like, at least for like clarinet and stuff, you gotta find like a good point where it's not too soft and not too hard, and that you'll be able to play very resonated and with ease. It shouldn't be too difficult to play. If it's difficult to play, you're either doing something wrong or there's something wrong with the hardware.
Gradually shift to harder reeds as their embouchures change and they start to learn how to adjust them. Oboists normally soak their reeds for about 1 or 2 minutes before playing and last for
Yeah, another thing I don't have to do with a Ligier reed.
about a month, depending on how much you play on them. The more you play on them, the shorter they last. Reeds should be suited for individual oboists, which is
and Ligier lasts a whole year of playing, basically. And that's like daily playing I'm talking about. Like regular life. Like not like you know, and I would say even after a year, they're still very durable. I mean, they still have a really good snap to them, at least on clarinet. I'm not sure about this one. This is the first oboe reed I got from Legier, the European cut. I like it a lot. I do have, there is like a, you know, I have a emergency cane reed for now. I haven't soaked it, and I probably need to scrape it. Yeah, it's like what?
Why oboists learn to scrape their own reeds. Musicians learn as they make reeds, and it's all down to practice. Making reeds is a whole different challenge for oboists, and it takes about 1,000 reeds to start to get the hang of it. I hope this helped you learn something new about the oboe, and thanks for watching. Please subscribe to Harmonies from Home, and I'll see you in another video.
I know that like on clarinet and all, there's probably like resonance keys that you can hold when you're using more open positions. I know that you can do that on clarinet, because like what happens is like you might be using a note, like playing a note that only uses like 2 fingers, but then what you can do is you can like hold some resonance keys to kind of add some additional like darkness or whatever to it. So it's like. Important oboe repertoire. We don't need to work on that right now. How to tune an oboe. Okay.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another video from Harmonies from Home. My name is Annabelle, and today I'll be talking about important parts about tuning and how to tune an oboe. Tuning is a way to adjust the intonation of your instrument in order to make sure your instrument is in the correct pitch. Once you tune your instrument, almost everything will be played relatively in tune. Whether you're playing in an orchestra, a band, or you're just playing a solo, pitch is really important. On top of that, orchestras tune to the oboe's A before rehearsals and concerts, so it's crucial to be in tune. As you guys may know, tuning an oboe is quite different than tuning a string instrument or a different wind instrument. Unlike flutes and clarinets, where certain joints of the instrument can be pulled out or pushed in, the majority of tuning is done through the embouchure. Many beginning oboists become frustrated with their inconsistent pitch, but hopefully these tips are some solutions to having better intonation. The first step that we highly recommend is that you download a tuning app on your device. There are countless free tuning apps that you can find on the App Store, and they're all amazing. But for reference, this is the app I personally use, and I'll be explaining to you the process of tuning by using this app today. This app has both a metronome and a tuner, so if you click on this button here, your tuner is activated. If you click on this button on the top right, your device will actually play that pitch out loud, and you can adjust which pitch is being played by selecting the note you wish to be played. This number here represents hertz, which basically refers to the frequency of the sound. I won't get into the heavy sciences today, but the general accepted tuning is to 440 hertz, so use these buttons to adjust your number to 440 if it isn't already. You will know if you're in tune when the needle is in the middle and there is a green check mark. Before rehearsals and before you tune, make sure to play a couple of notes to get warm air through your instrument and to warm up your lungs and mouth. A cold instrument never stays in tune. The note A in the staff is always checked because A is the most centered note on the instrument. The pitch should come up in the tuner, and your needle will indicate whether the pitch is low, high, or just right. If the needle is leaning towards the left, that means you are flat, and if it's leaning to the right, you are sharp. Although some people recommend pulling out the reed when adjusting pitch, it is not the best solution because the intervals between the notes become distorted and everything becomes unstable. Generally, when your pitch is flat or low, the reed should be rolled in with the lips and rolled out when your pitch is sharp. It's really important to make sure your reed is rolling in or out instead of sliding in or out against your lip. Even after tuning your instrument, there could be various reasons that could make your oboe out of tune and cause you to have to adjust the pitch while playing. A starting tip is to remember that more reed in your mouth causes the pitch to be raised and less reed in your mouth causes the pitch to be lowered. You could also adjust your airstream when notes, often the higher notes, are out of tune. To raise the pitch, aim your airstream higher and say the vowel E as you play, or you can think of it as a slight smile. Aim your airstream lower and say the vowel O inside your mouth to lower the pitch. An additional way to help some of your sharp notes is to use alternative resonance fingerings.
Remember what I was telling you about? The resonance keys?
To bring the pitch down. Lastly, make sure you have a good reed that can play in tune. Don't play on old reeds and have your reed pushed in all the way into your reed hole. In general, hard reeds tend to be sharper and softer reeds tend to be flatter. Well, that's it for today, and I hope you learned something new about tuning an oboe. If you want to learn tips and tricks on tuning other instruments, check out our other fun videos. Make sure to subscribe to Harmonies from Home and follow our Instagram to keep up with more upcoming content. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hi guys, and welcome back to Harmonies from Home. Today we'll be talking about hand positions and basic fingerings on the oboe. Before I begin, make sure to check out our Elements of an Oboe and How to Tune an Oboe video so you get a better understanding of the instrument before you start playing. So before going into the fingerings, we have to know where our hands have to go first. On the oboe and for most wind instruments, your left hand will go above your right hand. Your left thumb should be placed right under the octave keys right here, and your left pointer finger, middle finger, and ring finger should rest on the top 3 keys right here. The side of your left pointer finger will press on this side octave key for some of your second or third octave notes, and your left pinky will move between these keys depending on the note. Your right hand should cover these 3 keys with your pointer, middle, and ring finger, while your pinky will move around these 3 keys for different notes. The side of your right pointer finger should press on this side octave key, while your right thumb will rest on the back of your instrument. Once you learn the fingering to some notes, make sure you get into the habit of having your fingers curved, like you're holding an egg, and not flattened out. You should also make sure that when your finger is not pressing down on a key, they shouldn't be too high up. It'll help make the transition between your notes smoother, especially when you start learning faster pieces with faster melodies. Now that you know where your hands should go on your instrument, let's try learning a few notes. We'll be learning 5 notes today: G, A, B, C, and D, where you don't have to use your right hand for most of them. Our first note is G in the staff, which is really simple. You'll have your pointer finger on the first key, your middle finger on the second, and your ring finger on the third. This is how it should sound like. If you want to play the note an octave higher, all you have to do is press the octave key on the back with your left thumb and raise your airspeed. Next, we have A, which is the same fingering as G, but without the ring finger. To play it an octave higher, you press the octave key on the back like G, but you will also have to press the side key right here, and it should sound like this. Our next note is B, and you'll probably find this note the easiest to play. You'll only need to press the first key with your index finger and nothing else. Just like the A, you can press the back octave and the side key to play it an octave higher. Continuing on, C will be the same fingering as B, where you press the first key, but you'll add your right index finger along with it. it should sound like this. You'll need to press the back octave key and side key as well to play it an octave higher. Finally, our last note is D. Instead of covering the full key with your left index finger, you'll press the key down without covering the hole by placing your finger slightly below the key. Some instruments will have a small extension connected to the key depending on the instrument. With the first key half hold, you'll press the second and third keys with your left, middle, and ring fingers. On your right hand, you'll be pressing the first three keys with your index, middle, and ring fingers, and it should sound like this. Playing this an octave higher is a bit more difficult, but you'll press the second and third keys with your left, middle, and ring fingers. On your right hand, you'll be pressing the first three keys with your index, middle, and ring fingers, and it should sound like this. With your index, middle, and ring fingers, and it should sound like this. Playing this an octave higher is a bit more difficult, but you'll leave the left hand alone, and you'll need to press your low C key with your pinky. On your right hand, you'll be pressing the first three fingers slightly with your. Finally, our last note is D. Instead of covering the full key with your left index finger, you'll press the key down without covering the hole by placing your finger slightly below the key. Some instruments will have a small extension connected to the key depending on the instrument. With the first key half hold, you'll press the second and third keys with your left, middle, and ring fingers. On your right hand, you'll be pressing the first three keys with your index, middle, and ring fingers, and it should sound like this. Playing this an octave higher is a bit more difficult, but you'll leave the left hand alone, and you'll need to press your low C key with your pinky. Press the middle key with your middle finger, and half hold your ring finger for more pitch stability. Now that you have these 5 notes, an octave higher is a bit more difficult on your upper key as well. Octave higher. Finally, our last note is D. Instead of covering the full key with your left index finger, you'll press the key down without covering the hole by placing your finger slightly below the key. Some instruments will have a small extension connected to the key depending on the instrument. With the first key half hold, you'll press the second and third keys with your left, middle, and ring fingers. On your right hand, you'll be pressing the first three keys with your index, middle, and ring fingers, and it should sound like this. Playing this an octave higher is a bit more difficult, but you'll leave the left hand alone, and you'll need to press your low C key with your pinky. Press the middle key with your middle finger, and half hold your ring finger for more pitch stability.
Oh, wait, what? Okay, so it's like the D, the second octave D. Again. Except just basically with the F sharp. What? Oh. There's only 3 keys here. Bump, 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 bump. And what's this? Oh, there's some issues here. It's not bouncing back. Uh-oh. You see that? It's just... Why did it do that right when I... Oh, is what's happening is am I in like a picture mode where if I like do something, Like, it'll take a picture or something like that? No, I don't think that's what's happening. I think it's the USB drive. Yeah, there's a problem here. I actually don't know how to solve this problem. I mean, I guess just for now, don't press that key until I get it repaired. That's an extra key. It's probably for a much higher octave. Probably for an altissimo, is what I'm guessing. So just ignore, don't press that for a while.
And you'll need to press your low C key with your pinky. Press the middle key with your middle finger and half hold your ring finger for more pitch stability. Now that you have these 5 notes, you can play the beginning of a G major scale. With these notes, you can also play a song like Mary Had a Little Lamb.
That's weird.
Notes, you can play the beginning of a G major scale. With these
I'm starting to lose.
notes, you can also play a song like Mary Had a Little Lamb.
I mean, literally learn all 12 scales eventually. It's going to take a day or two. It's going to take me a few days to get all 12 scales down.
to really get the fingers down. And if you want, I link the fingering charts for all 3 octaves in the description box below so you can learn yourself. Thank you guys for watching this video on hand positions and basic fingerings on the oboe. Make sure to subscribe to Harmonies from Home on Instagram to watch more of our videos. Stay safe and see you in the next video. It's important to understand the differences between these models to know what model you...
Intermediate models, by the way, are probably just as good as professional models. So if you can get an intermediate model instrument, this is like a student level oboe, I guess, or it's somewhere in between probably. Either way, even a student level oboe in the right hands and with the right model, with the right make and model, with the right manufacturer. It's really the musician who matters most of the time. And obviously hardware does make a difference. But at the end of the day, it's the musician who makes the music, not the hardware.
Instruments made of this model have a modified conservatory key system and are mostly made of resin, wood, or a combination of both. Unlike the student model, instruments with a modified conservatory key system have the left-hand F key, the low B flat key, an F resonance key, and an articulated B C-sharp mechanism. A good intermediate model allows players to play for years and in general meets the needs for someone who is intending to major in music education. If by any chance the player wants to play oboe professionally,
I think that's an excuse a lot of people make. It's so easy to upgrade your instrument. Obviously, like once you have, you just put the money in. I mean, easy, quote unquote. You put the money in, and it's a one-time thing, and you have a professional level instrument. But intermediate's gonna do you good for like the rest of your life if you know how to handle it. Upgrade as soon as you can, but like intermediate model, nothing wrong with intermediate model instruments at all. In fact, student level instruments can be good if it's made correctly. I've started on a lot of beginner instruments. I generally don't recommend getting like super cheap instruments. Oboes are just, even the cheapest ones are pretty expensive. This is like one of the cheapest ones. I'm not going to say how much it was.
or attend a graduate program for music, it is necessary to upgrade the instrument to a professional model. Players will know that they should upgrade their instrument from an intermediate to a professional model when they or their teachers constantly note their desires to improve the player's tone, projection, and/or the rhythm.
Yeah, it's basically once you get to a point where you're getting like extremely diminishing returns on technique, which is like most people will never reach this point. Obviously, get a professional instrument as soon as you can. It's a huge upgrade that's like instant. You know, professional level equipment's always going to just immediately improve things. But like, it's like, don't use it as like an excuse to like not work on your technique. Because I've heard like so many different examples of like, you know, $100 flute versus $10,000 flute. And you listen to it, it's the only people who can tell a difference are so nerdy that it doesn't really matter. Like they're just in there like looking at the audio file, like going in there and like looking at the exact frequency that it's at and seeing like, you know, that's a different kind of world, you know, like the people are like that sometimes. That was a really shitty oboe. That was only 5, like G, A, B, and C, and D. Like, what? Oh, here we go. How to play all the notes. This lady. I love her hair. Oh, it's this lady. I was watching her videos before. She does this thing where she goes like... She like bulges her eyes out a lot. And she's doing it right now.
All the notes on the oboe, part 1. Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome one more day to the YouTube channel. I'm Lydia Cabezas, and today I've prepared a video in which you can learn how to play all the notes on the oboe. This is gonna be the part 1 of the video, and we will see the notes from the
B flat or
A
C sharp.
flat 3 to the C5. To make it easier for you, I will show its note in 4 different ways. The first one on the pentagram. The second one with an image of an oboe with colored holes depending on the notes. The third one with a code of fingering that you can do by hand in your own part or score if you need it. And the fourth way I'll play its note in the oboe. A sharp, B flat, 3.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Guys, I'm gonna have so much fun on this thing once I get fluent in it. You basically just have to learn all your 12 scales, arpeggios, and also chromatic in different patterns for probably a month, daily. Just every day, like just doing all 12 scales at least. If nothing else, just do all 12 scales, like in a circle of fourths or fifths, depending on how you feel. Like which direction to go. I would say it probably takes at least 2 weeks on a new instrument to like fully feel comfortable playing the entire range of the instrument. Once you get to that point, then you can start learning repertoire, and just working on like some basic like patterns, like etudes, and repertoire. Obviously depending on how skilled you are as a musician already. It might take longer than 2 weeks, for example. Like for me, I might be able to learn every single note on this in like a single sitting if I really wanted to. I wouldn't be like completely fluent in it, but if I really wanted to, I could just commit to memory like every single note. But that's not usually that great anyway. What it's better to do is just like, just do 12 scales every day, and that way you play every single note and make sure you do it across the full range of the instrument too. So that way you're also working on all the intonation and all the different like little intricacies you got to do at different octaves, all that kind of stuff, because that's going to be really important. A lot of this stuff is carrying over from clarinet. There's extra stuff going on with the oboe. There's a different kind of technique. It's a double reed, so it's different. But more or less, it's a clarinet, and I think a lot of it's gonna carry over. So once I get fluent in the scales, I think I'm gonna really have a lot of fun, because I love the flute, but something about like reeds just really resonate with me. Pun not intended. Just something about reeds, like, and also just, I prefer my instruments to go out. Flutes like this. It's still good. I like flute, but like I feel like oboe has a different kind of darkness to it that allows you to kind of like have a different kind of emotion when you're playing certain lines that obviously a flute would also be able to play. Flute and oboe you can fill in a flute or oboe part. They're both concert pitch instruments. They're both concert pitch instruments, so. The same sheet music can be played. Like, you can use the same sheet music for whether or not you play a flute or an oboe. You can still play the same exact sheet music. If there's no oboist, or you can have a flutist fill in for the oboist, or a violinist. Basically, as far as like tone quality go, oboe and violin are pretty much alike. Here, let's see. Violin versus oboe tone.
Play longer. Me in one breath.
Me and one bow.
You notice how it just sounds like the same exact instrument all at once? Oboe and violin are like the same. I guess they're siblings. These people aren't siblings, probably. They're probably not siblings. I don't know why, but like I just think like they're like cousins.
You can play longer. A lot of people ask us what the and lowest note we can play on our instrument. So here it is. What's the lowest note you can play?
Yeah, it's just physically impossible to play any other lower note.
I can go lower.
Not everything's a competition. My highest note is.
Not everything's a competition. Wow, this guy.
Oh!
Jesus Christ, that's a high altissimo.
And what's your highest note?
I actually don't know. It's like
Ouch!
I think it's like this.
It like makes my ears hurt.
A lot of people ask.
Crazy. Yeah, so basically oboe and violin are like the same tone quality. Obviously different instruments, very different instruments. They're like the same tone quality, like. I'm not quite there yet. I'm not quite there yet. Yeah, I'm really happy about it. I'm really happy I have an oboe at last. I finally have an oboe added to my arsenal. I really am happy to have this. And if I can become fluent in this, there's yet another instrument that can be added to my employable repertoire. So this is definitely something other than just pleasure. But it is, a lot of it is more than just, actually a lot of it is therapy. I'm just, ballet, I'm doing dance and I'm doing oboe at home. It would obviously be ideal if I had private instruction on any instrument at any stage of your musical journey. Your musical journey. You're on a journey to music. That's my Dr. K impression. We're on a journey. I love that guy so much. He's awesome. Yeah, we're just on a journey, man. Like, dude, like everything's just relaxed. Because we're on a journey. Yeah, music is a journey. It's not a test. Music isn't an exam. Music isn't how can you impress your teacher. It's not any of these things. Music is literally just dancing. It's literally just vibrations just giving us like ideas in our heads. That's all it is. It's not sheet music. Sheet music only helps to learn music that's, in a really easy way, instead of always having to learn music by ear, which is not always, first of all, not always ideal, but also not even always possible. What if you have to study some music on the train and all you have is your hands, and you could do the fingerings like really slowly, very precisely, over how your fingers are going to be, like just reading the sheet music to learn it. And then later when you practice, it's going to be a lot easier to memorize. Yeah, I don't know every single note yet, so it's different than clarinet. Like the fingerings are very different than flute and clarinet and saxophone. Like it's a very unique fingering system. I'm noticing. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'm done for now. I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you all for watching. If you were here, it's crazy stuff going on. XQC, $100 million deal or whatever, 70 million deal. Yeah, that's without the. I increased the gain again. We're done. Done. Why are you still here? Go home. Go home. What are you doing? Why are you still watching? Why aren't you liking and subscribing? Why aren't you liking and subscribing? Half of you aren't subscribed. Click that bell icon. All right, toodaloos.